Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another live streamed session of our Suzerain DESPOT playthrough. It's going to be a wild session today. Right off the bat, we're going to be declaring emergency powers. Again, last session ended right on the cusp of that happening. We had made all the final decisions, who to ban, what to ban, why to ban them. Not just people from our own, or not, I guess, from our own nation, but people living within our own borders, but also, outside of our borders. We're putting our foot down about a lot of stuff. But the decisions were sort of finalized last time, and today we're announcing those decisions to everybody. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I hope you all have had a wonderful week behind you. I hope you've had a wonderful start to your Fridays. My week has been absolutely ridiculous. It's been absolutely crazy. I've been basically living at two different addresses. I wasn't 100% sure if this stream was going to happen today. I think I've gone to bed at 5 a.m. and woken up at 9 a.m. every day for the last 4 days, except for Monday night when I didn't sleep at all. So it's been fun. It's been fun. But folks, we are here. We are Suzerain. A warm welcome to all y'all who are joining and chatting in chat right now. Omkar J, Classified, Artonicus, Darat Bastard, Ease, Ted Knight, and Jazzy B. Hope y'all are having a wonderful time. Small crowd joining us to kick off this Friday. I think the good weather is bringing many people out. I'm super excited actually for this weekend as well as I click resume, because tomorrow, if all goes according to plan, I will finally, after over a year and a half, have my first beer. After over a year and a half, planning on enjoying the good weather and going to the patio as Ontario opens up, and as it's been 2 weeks from my second shot, I'm in such a good mood. I'm tired, so it doesn't come across, but I'm in such a good mood, and I hope you all have wonderful weekends ahead of you as well. Banned what, Artonicus? Oh, you mean you mean in the game? I thought you were talking about like real life. Oh, or are you talking in response to Omkar J? You got yours on the Wednesday past, Ease, or the Wednesday coming? Beast Orpher, how's it going, buddy? Having a good day, I hope. 2 pints of Guinness yesterday to celebrate my double jab status. Nice, Jazzy B, nice. I don't know what my first beer back is going to be. I've been like, oh man, I don't know what it's gonna be. Goffagat 66 asking the important questions. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're going to one of my favorite bars in Toronto. It's a very old bar. It's been around since it's been around for a very long time. But they have a photo of what's it called? Of the celebration at the bar when the Treaty of which treaty was it? I forget. It's been so long, man. I'm so excited to go back. But they've been around. They've been through like World War II at least, maybe even one. I can't remember now. We're going back there. They have a decent selection of beer. They've got great wings, the hottest wings I've ever eaten in my life. I can't wait. I was so excited. But I don't know. I'll have to let y'all know which beer I get. On which note, folks, again, if you're not already in the Discord, great place to be. Just don't dive. No, I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm gonna be careful bouncing back after so long. Saketh, I know, right? I know, wild. No spoilers in chat though. No spoilers in chat. Not everybody might be caught up, so no spoilers. Oh, the Wednesday pass. All right, sounds good. Ease. You just gotta wait. What is it? 2 weeks, I think, right? What are you? Pfizer Force? Hot wings and beer? Hell yeah, man. I can't wait. Oh, man. All right. On the topic of exciting things, where nothing can go wrong and where everybody has a good time, let's, I don't think there's much to recap. I mean, okay, we had conversations about education. We had conversations about healthcare. We have certainly upset some people in our cabinet. Just folks who aren't fans of a rather traditionalist views in this run-through. Folks who aren't fans of our kind of nationalistic views either. We're slowly collecting enemies in our own cabinet, just for the record. I mean, like, a lot of people aren't liking what we're saying. However, with that said, what's his name? Pascal. I love that I remember Pascal's name. and his tie with the with healthcare, just because of the pressure jokes we make. But yeah, so Pascal seems kind of on board with my like privatization opinions. He seems to be on board with like, oh yeah, if we privatize things, we'll have more money and it'll be better, is my claim, right? So I'm hoping we're able to swing it. But yeah, there are some people who are very much not liking my thoughts on, you know, how to deal with the less fortunate parts of our nation. But that was sort of that was one thing that happened last time that was major, but the real major thing was, yes, what I was already talking about, making decisions for our emergency powers. You know, what kind of limitations are we placing on people? How are we shutting things down? And how are we keeping the nation going stronger and stronger? Fizz George, how's it going, buddy? I'm glad you can make it. Dennis Perry went to a pub in Dublin that was like 1,000 years old or some crazy stuff. Oh man, I would love to, yeah, I really want to do that. I want to visit, like, you know, do like the oldest pubs in the world kind of a thing. I think it's a fun thing to do. In St. John's in Canada, there's a street which is lined with some of, I think, the oldest pubs in Canada. I think I've been wanting to do that. It's a lot of fun stuff you can do. Which, if you don't mind sharing, Dennis, which I'm curious. I should like start collecting names so I can, when we can travel, I can travel and, you know, chase something. 120 episodes back of Bannerlord. Oh, you're in episode 20 or so, or episode 80 or so, Omkar? Yeah, you got some time to go, eh? Best wings I ever had was mango habanero wings, so incredible. So these wings that I'm talking about, I'm getting awfully distracted. One last distraction, folks, that will dive into our Declaration of the Emergency Act. So these wings that I'm talking about, the chef at this pub does a custom spice blend, and he's always like experimenting with it. And the first time I ordered it, they were called like Kill Me Now wings or something. I forget the exact name. And I ordered it because, you know, most places, most pubs, suicide wings or whatever they call their hottest variety, it's not that hot. It's hot, but it's not like, you know, it's killing me, right? And I have a decent spice tolerance. I have a very good spice tolerance, I would say. Dude, I had 2 wings, and I kid you not, after the 2 wings, I had in a bar 2 glasses of chocolate milk because I was dying. And I was like, yo, I need milk. And I'm not the type of person that just drinks milk out of a glass. I don't do that. It's been ages since I've had chocolate milk, but it was that hot. I was dying. And then the waitress was like, you should have sugar water instead, because that's what actually does the trick. It'll help. And it did. She was right. But holy crap, they were so good, man. And again, like, like, I have a good spice tolerance. This stuff was, I'm trying to remember, because I asked, I was like, what's in this stuff? Because usually, you know, wings they're not actually hot at bars and stuff. And she was like, it's got, yes, habanero. It had Carolina Reaper, and ghost pepper, and something else I can't remember. And it's a custom spice mix. And I was like, this is amazing. And I've had it like 3 times since. Like, every time I go back there, basically, I get the wings. They're that good. Anyway, on that note, let's take a look at the Declaration of the Emergency Act. Bread helps as well. I don't think I could have like chewed anything, man. It was wild. It was so good. Adam, how's it going, though, buddy? Having a good day? Having a good Friday? Oh, dude, no. It's not PE getting weak. It's those wings, man. Those wings, dude. That's why when I ordered those sauces from First We Feast, yeah. That's why I was just like, yeah, these aren't that hot. Carolina Reaper and ghost pepper and habanero. Oh, so good. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I hope they have them. When I go tomorrow. God. Yeah, spicy. It's spicy. Mazag, Nicholas, Charella, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show and all my talk of spicy food. So I'm just excited for everything. Truth be told, I was excited for everything. All right, yes, Chef's Secret indeed, second. All right, let's do this. Declaring the Emergency Act. This is gonna be wild. All right. I had recently signed the Emergency Act, which created a ruckus in the Swordish police forces and the Grand National Assembly. Now it was time to make a speech in the Assembly and declare the emergency in public. I walked with quick steps in the corridors of the Grand National Assembly, giving my greetings to the people I encountered on my way towards the Parliamentary Hall. When I entered the hall, the assembly was in complete chaos, with shouting and cursing between the parties. There was a heavy argument about a proposal made by an MP from the NFP. I took my seat inside the special area reserved for the ministers. Gloria was shouting from her seat at the center of the hall as she hit the gavel 3 times, with each strike heavier than the one before. Order! Order! I saw Kisaro Kibner standing up from his seat and shouting towards the members of the PFJP. Mr. Kibner, calm yourself! Show respect to the procedures of this assembly! Despite her efforts, the argument continued for a couple of minutes before everybody took back to their seats and finally went quiet. Mr. Kibner, next time when I tell you to do so, either take your seat or leave the hall so we can proceed with the procedures of this assembly and continue our duties. Some MPs from the NFP side shouted back at her in protest. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me to continue, she pointed at me with her hand. We have the president here with us today. He has an important declaration to make. The assembly fell silent. The president has the floor. I walked to the stand as loud clapping started in the USP's side. Okay, so quick recap so we get a vibe for what's going on. So clearly the USP is on board. Of course they're on board. Emergency powers for us means emergency powers for them, or so they think. But no, these are emergency powers for me. So the USP is on our side. The NFP isn't liking this, right? The NFP is the right-wing party, so they're not fans of the emergency powers, of course. And Mr. Kibner is the leader of the NFP. The PFJP, I imagine they're not for this either. So the PFJP and the okay, neither of them, none of the other parties are okay with what we're doing here, of course, because we're seizing control, we're seizing power, so they're not okay with that. But the USP is fine with it. All right, I was just double checking because I was surprised that Mr. Kibner seemed to be more angry than Franz Richter. But is Mr. Richter perhaps not here, considering we're investigating him for his betrayal of the glorious state of Sordland? Could that be it? I'm curious. I can't believe last episode we missed a member. Oh yeah, it was weird. Partybot was being weird, yeah. Thanks for catching that screen grab for me as well, by the way, Omcarp. Taking a look at chat here real quick. You know what? Probably. I can't remember. The first time I had it was so long ago. I love democracy indeed, Jazzy V. Indeed. Charles Martel. So, funnily enough, in the last playthrough, we never got war. We managed to completely circumvent war. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have spoiled that. But I guess if you're watching episode, what is this, 7, 8 of season 2 of Suzerain, you may have already watched my first playthrough. But yeah, that was it was a wild turn of events. I wasn't expecting that at all. All right, how do we do this? We should treat them with respect and dignity, I think, right? Honorable members of assembly, I think, is the most formal. This is a formal declaration. This is business. I'm not. I don't think I should be smarmy or anything like that. I shouldn't be too. What's the word I'm looking for? Like friendly, but there's a term for when you're being, being all like fake friendly, faux friendly. The word is not coming to mind. Oh yeah, if you're planning on grabbing this game, or really any other game you've seen on the channel, or that you think you might see on the channel because it's strategy, RPG, tactics, or what have you, you can grab it at the store link that Saketh just pulled up over there in chat, including Suzerain. You can buy from there as well. What is this game? So it's a text-based RPG set in a fictional world during the 1950s, which is very similar to our 1950s, even though the world is made up countries and made up continents and stuff. Where you just got elected president. I believe you're the 4th president of this country, and it's going through all sorts of turmoil. There's internal struggles, there's pressure from foreign nations, there's border disputes going on, there's refugee crises, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the middle of a recession as well. And it's your job to try and make it all work. And it's a text-based RPG, and it's absolutely fantastic. In our first playthrough, we played as a sort of a sock dem, I would say we try to appease as many people as possible. But obviously that's a very difficult thing to do. We try to chase a mixed economy, and then in this playthrough we're going super hard and just banning, you know, foreign entities. We're preparing for war. We're warmongers. We're jingoistic. We're despots. You know, we care only for ourselves. We're taking bribes. It's a fantastic game with all kinds of like options as you play through. And I think there's some people in chat who've played this game like 10 times, 15 times. I'm not even exaggerating. And enjoyed every playthrough because they've been so different. Fantastic game. It's a fantastic game. One of my favorites from last year. Humankind is out a month tomorrow. Oh, don't remind me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yuja, how's it going? You're not in a bloody church for what? Oh, in terms of being chummy. Chummy is the rat bastard. That's one of the words. It's not the one I was thinking of, but that is one of the words. But yes, I'm not here to be chummy. Two-faced? Oh, always here to be two-faced. At the assembly? Always. The writing and descriptions are so on point. Oh, the writing in this game is fantastic. Goddamn-tastic, honestly. And the music, I mean, you hearing this right now? The stress and tension, all that kind of stuff. Just beautiful game. I highly recommend to anybody who's even remotely interested in, you know, geopolitics and that kind of stuff. And it really makes you question yourself. You know, it's one of those like, you know, if I was president, I would do things like this. It's like, oh yeah, okay, well here you go, try it and see how impossible it can be. See how impossible. Disingenuous, also not the word I was going for, but that's, yes, also that. I don't know, the word will come to me 30 minutes from now or something, but I'm liking the suggestions because they're right as well. I think you're marketing this game for free, says Omkar J. If I like something, I'm gonna say I like it. You know, and like is a weak word to express my opinion of Suzerain. You know, it's a great game, and hey man, if people want to play a great game and they're looking for suggestions, this is it's something I like to do. I like to give suggestions. Honorable members of assembly. Yeah, let's go with honorable members of assembly. Oh, sorry. It's one of those where what you click is not everything you get, of course. Honorable members of the Grand National Assembly of Sordland. I am here today to present an important decision of the state concerning the recent troubling developments in Sordland. Oh, dear. Okay, we'll start with... Do we focus on the shooting of Bernard Circus? Again, that's that communist poet who was killed, who was assassinated. Killed makes it sound soft almost. Who was assassinated during the inauguration ceremony. Ball, or whatever you want to call it. The Red Youth and the Young Swords, they've been going at it for, I guess it would be months now. You know, riots on the streets, protests, executions, beheadings, all kinds of wild stuff. Or the Bluish Freedom Front. And the fact that they are being given weapons by our neighbors to the north. I feel like starting with the Bluish Freedom Front is probably best, because the party that represents the Bloods in the assembly is like less than, or it's just 10% or less than 10% or something. They're a nothing party. They barely exist. So we're likely to get the least amount of shouting from that option. And it would ease us into the conversation, because we're talking about an external threat first, and then we can start talking about internal trouble. So I'm thinking 3. And then also we play into the Rumburg threat, because again, Rumburg closed their was it their embassy or their consulate? I think it was their consulate. They closed their consulate in one of our cities. We responded by closing our embassy. They've been having troop movements and stuff. Rumburg is a serious problem, and I feel like we can focus on the gravity of that situation as well to win this situation. Guerrilla warfare going on in our country? Well, less guerrilla warfare and more, I guess, what's it called? Like incitement of violence and subterfuge, and it's not even a proxy war. But yeah, people are infiltrating our state and trying to cause us trouble, and they're doing it successfully. Party doesn't hold back when a game disappoints. Yes, I do not. By the way, folks, I have a review for a new game that just came out an hour and a half ago now for Warhammer 40k Battle Sector. If you're interested in turn-based tactics games, you should check that out after this stream is done. 5-star, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. If you are, again, you know what to do. Let me know down below. What do we say to Hawker in terms of... Well, okay, so this is... it's all relevant with regards to what we said to Hawker. And as far as what we decided to enact or do, hopefully it's listed here. Oh, it isn't. I should have noted it. Red Youth. The young swords are okay, of course, but we're banning the Red Youth. We are banning travelers from Roomberg. We are... What else are we doing? Allowing the police to stop and frisk people as need be. And we're also allowing the police to detain people without trial if there is absolutely any suspicion that they might be up to something. I believe those were the main moves that we were making. I believe those were the main moves that we were making. But I think we start with focus on the British Freedom Front and Roomberg's aid. Marcus, how's it going, buddy? It is Friday indeed. I know, where has this week gone for real? It feels like it's still Tuesday of last week for me. How's your day going, buddy? Having a good day, I hope. Sordland has long been plagued by brutish separatist groups inside our borders. Their threat, however, has never been greater. They have been heavily arming themselves with military aid from Roomberg against Sordland. I brought attention to the threat of the brutish separatists or the threat of Roomberg. I think we double down on the threat of Roomberg. I feel like we were just saying moments ago, there's an angle there that I think everybody in this room would agree with, right? Also, I just want to stress, with regards to what I was saying earlier about branching paths and stuff, I saw none of this in my previous playthrough. All of this is completely new to me, because we didn't go this with emergency powers in my previous playthrough, so it's all fresh. It's never seen it before. And yes, CoffinCat666 has got it right. We got over 30 people watching, but less than 16 likes. Folks, if you've been enjoying Suzerain, if you've been enjoying the live streams and hanging out, hit that like button. Let me know. It does make a big difference. Whether you're watching live or you're watching the VOD, but it does let me know what y'all want to see on the channel. The threat of Roomberg. With the armament of the BFF, Roomberg has shown a clear, aggressive stance against Sordland. They pose a major national security threat for our country. We must stay strong and be ready against their treacherous actions. Applause came from the NFP seats. All right, good. Blame the Blutish separatists for a plan to occupy Bergia. That's one of our regions. Bergia is our region that borders well in where the Bloods are in sort of highest density, let's say. Blame the communists for a plan to overthrow the government, or blame foreign powers for supporting extremist groups. Again, I feel like, yeah, do we keep stressing the outside threat? Because the moment I start speaking against the communists, we're gonna have... I mean, who don't have a... What are we looking at here? Well, I guess if there are any communists, they'd be among the independents. I mean, I imagine Franz Richter probably has some, like, socialist leanings, right? So will they take an issue with that, perhaps? Kind of conflate the two, maybe? I don't know. But I just worry that blaming the Bloods, okay, we're going to have that 10% get upset. Blame the communists, we might have, maybe a different 10% get upset. Blame foreign powers, everyone can get behind that, right? I think. Jazzy B, I've never gone down this route in any of my playthroughs, so it's fascinating to see what happens and how it changes and doesn't change certain events. Oh, nice, cool. Oh yeah, Ease, how have your meetings been? Yeah, you mentioned. Financial 2022 kickoff, gotcha. God. A virtual party tonight with a DJ. Wow. Man. Oh, man. That's like, there's this, I forget his name now. Yeah, it's not coming to me. I used to watch, on and off, we'd watch a couple of this guy's videos. He has this series called Corporate Cringe. If you YouTube Corporate Cringe, the examples will come up. And it's just examples of things like throwing a virtual party with a DJ and other things like that corporations do from time to time. Now, again, I'm all for team building and positive, workplace vibes and all that kind of stuff. I totally get it. But there are some examples out there that are just like, wow, this doesn't make any sense. And there's some good examples. I forget the guy's channel's name. A Corporate Cringe, if you look it up. Things like Ease's party would come up. Don't I miss the corporate world? I love hour-long meetings that could be emails, and the pre-meetings that come before them, and the post-meetings after them. They're my favorite thing. Outside threat because Runeberg is arming the Bloods and someone is equipping the Red Youth. Yeah, in fact, don't we know that, well, we know that Franz Richter is working with, like, Arcasia, and I wonder if we can start implying, you know, or sort of hinting at that connection as well. Because that could be that could be perceived as a foreign threat as well, right? Blame foreign powers for supporting extremist groups. The foreign powers are to be blamed. They are disrespecting the sovereignty of our nation and agitate and support these extremist groups against our country in hopes of toppling our government to establish a puppet state. The state will now react swiftly to these threats. Nice, nice. Liking this so much. Liking this so far. I mean, surveillance capabilities of the state will be increased. Suspects will not require a trial. The police will be given increased authority. Yeah, so now we're talking about some of our decisions, right? Which of these is most agreeable? I think one, the police will be given increased authority. Who can have any issues with that, right? Surveillance obviously can be problematic. People can be a little concerned, but that's also a relatively soft one to say. It's, I mean, again, geez, I'm speaking from I guess real world experience of what people have and have not been okay with, I suppose, right? Suspects will not require a trial to be detained, and the right to assemble and protest will be suspended. Those two are the big ones, because you mentioned those and people go like, hang on a second, those are human rights now. What's going on? Whereas the first two are more like, oh yeah, okay, I understand how that makes sense, you know? Yeah. Let's do that. The police will be given increased authority. The police will be given increased authority in regards to their use of force. Searching civilians and orders for confiscations will be permissible beyond their legal limits for the duration of the emergency period. Okay, that's not exactly what I wanted to say. I will say, I mean, so Miss Elite's company is also very, like, you know, teamwork oriented and stuff, and they've done virtual, like, hangouts and stuff very often over the course of this work from home stuff, and their stuff makes a lot more sense. They do activities that, you know, like, they game together and stuff. Like, they'll play, you know, like, they'll, like, play, like, what's it called? Oh, man, Valorant or whatever together. They'll, like, hang out and do stuff that people do when hanging out. You know, there'll be, like, activities and stuff. So, like, it can be done right. It can be absolutely done right in a way that people have a good time. All four are good things. Are you talking about my options here? Surveillance capabilities of the state. Okay, so I guess I have to tell them everything. I mean, of course I do. I just want to order to do it in. Let's go with surveillance capabilities again. Slowly escalate. Surveillance capabilities of the state will be increased beyond their limits until further notice. Here we go. Suspects will not require a trial to be detained if said crime endangers the state and the well-being of its citizens. The right to assemble in protest will be suspended for the duration of the emergency. All citizens are expected to abide by the law, and the police is given permission to use force against assembled crowds. In accordance with Article 57 and 58 of the Constitution, the state holds the right to order for these measures to be taken in a situation of emergency like we have today. On the basis of said articles, I hereby declare a state of emergency and order the Emergency Act's swift execution. There was a loud reaction from the assembly. That's one way to put it. Reaction. Don't tell me if it's applause or boos or what. Just reaction. Mansoon Leek, a Blutish MP, who was regarded as the leader of the independents, jumped from his seat and started shouting at me. "This is fascism!" Gloria hit the gavel again. "The president has not finished." I found it time to take a breather during the loud commotion. Oh, it's so weird to think Mansoon Leek was so... We were such close friends with him. We were buddy-buddy with him in our previous playthrough. Oh. Can you please be quiet when I'm speaking, Mr. Leek? Show some respect. No, continue with the speech. I will not be interrupted, especially not by a blood. God, it feels so wrong. It feels so wrong. Going all in indeed. Yeah, feels so dirty classified. I know, right? Oh, God. I eat, like... bathe in bleach after every Suzerain session. Fizz George. This is fascism! Yeah, and? It's like, you think that's gonna stop me at this stage? Oh, okay. Just a quick check over here, folks. Are you guys seeing any lag or anything right now? I had a momentary flash of red from YouTube, but it lasted a split second. So I just want to make sure people aren't disconnected, because if you're seeing lag or if it's slowing down, hit refresh and you should be good. Just lagged a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I want to get that out there before everything fell apart. Looks like we're good though. Minor. Okay, cool. No lag anymore. All right, cool. We're good then. Yeah, it was just like a momentary flash of red from YouTube, and I was like, no, don't do this to me, YouTube. Not in the middle of the emergency powers. Show some respect. I wonder, test student. I wonder. I don't want to make this personal. Is the thing, right? That's why I don't want to call him out. I want to be the bigger man here. I want to be above everybody else who's like bickering and acting like children, right? Momentary interruption. Continue with this speech, I think. These measures, although extraordinary, were completely necessary for us to take. We must be vigilant as a nation in times of crisis, and surely we will be triumphant. I continued among applause from the USP seats. Is the plural of applause applauses? It's not, right? Applause is the plural of applause, right? It's a better disrespect. Yeah, just to continue with the speech, I think is an insult to what I think about him. It's like, your interruption, you're not even worth addressing. In accordance with the Emergency Act, Sordland will sever all diplomatic ties with Roomberg for their treacherous actions. We will be responding with an embargo. Sordland will stand alone if needs be. Whatever the case may be, we must be strong. I paused and took a look at the assembly. Oh, what do we do here? Today we must fight for Sordland, I think is the option. As tempting as it is to start targeting the red threat, so to speak, set aside our differences. I mean, come on now. This entire speech has been all about our differences. I ask everyone to understand our situation is too soft, I think. I think we must fight for Sordland is perhaps most likely to elicit the response I'm hoping for, which is there's going to be a lot of angry people, but then you can be like, can you believe Friends Richter was upset when I said we must fight for Sordland? Well, of course he was upset. He's been visiting Arcasia. He's been making deals behind all of your backs with the Western powers, you know? I think we must fight for Sordland is the way to go. I see some of y'all in chat agree. Yeah. Let's do it. Today, we must fight for Sordland. USB seats applauded. Holy crap! We will eliminate all who oppose the state. Yikes! We ask for everybody's cooperation and support. I ask everybody to be patient. Okay, so I think it's either between 1 and 3. We're thinking 2. But what we're saying 1 and 3. This is the part we say, you know, this is the quiet part. This is the loud part. You know the whole, did I say the quiet part out loud thing? That's what I'm getting at. Like when Palpatine seized power, he made it seem appealing to everybody in the room. You know, that's what we got to do here. Weird times. Please don't spam. I see your request there, buddy. Number 4 and then 2. 2 for this one, I imagine. Weird times, last warning. Don't keep spamming, buddy. 1 time is all you need to do. Starts a slow clap chanting, Sordland, Sordland. Classified, I love it. I do, oh man, the sword in Sordland. I love it. Eric H, thank you very much for subscribing, buddy. Hope you're enjoying the show. If you are, again, you know what to do. Let me know down below. Hit that like button. I see a few calls for 2. I see 1 call for 3, I think. I think we're going to go with 2. Wait, hold on. I think we're not going to go with 2. Wait. No. You got nice try, you guys. Taking advantage of the fact that I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep. We're not going to go with 2. Y'all great. Are you okay, hold on. Okay, you know what? All right, fine. Look. Okay, listen. I see you in chat wanting me to make a terrible decision. And when it comes time to make a terrible decision, how do you do it around these parts? We pull up the poll and we ask, which option? So option number 0 is going to be to abstain, just as a heads up, because I know we have, sometimes folks like to abstain, but also it makes the numbers match up. Option number 1 will be cooperation. Cooperating, spelt that wrong. Cooperation. Option number 2 will be elimination. And option number 3 It won't end. It won't rhyme with all the Asians. Patient. Yeah, if you say it right, you can make it rhyme. Yeah. All right. Let's go with this. So, folks, get your votes in. Remember, the voting format is exclamation mark, vote, and then you space and put a number in. 0 is abstain, 1 is cooperation, 2 is elimination, 3 is patience. It's gonna be interesting. So far, 2 is ahead with cooperation behind. It's 5-2, 6-2, 6-3, 6-5. 6-5, and patience just got a vote. 7-5. 7 is 7 between elimination and cooperation. 7-8. Cooperation's taking the lead. 8-8. 8-8. 9-8. Cooperation in the lead, folks. Again, make sure you've got your format right. Looks like everyone's got their format. Yep. Looks like it. 9-8 for cooperation. Oh man, is cooperation actually gonna make it? Oh, maybe. I'm gonna give another like 30 to 40 seconds to let more votes come through, and then I'll announce the winner, because it's very tight right now. It's very tight right now. How's that cheating? How's that cheating? Remember, your vote only counts once, by the way. So if you voted once, it'll count, and you can't spam a vote to get more numbers to pump up. I was calling the votes from the beginning. What are you talking about, Ease? I was calling the votes right from the beginning when elimination was in the lead. What are you talking about? Forgot to mention I was gonna drink water. Sorry for that awkward silence there. All right. That's wild. I'm gonna give it like another 5 seconds. And I just want to make sure everyone's votes got counted. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody getting the format wrong or anything like that, because this feels like a big one, right? This feels like a big one. Oh my God, what you talking about, Willis? I haven't seen that referenced in literally like 6 years. All right. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right. Okay. Okay. This is hilarious. So, voting is closed, and it was actually tied between cooperation and elimination, each which had 10 votes. But I do see Marius there with the wrong format, but that doesn't matter because I can also literally just look at chat, voting for 2 as well. So, elimination would have won by 1 vote. It would have been 11-10. 11-10, elimination would have won. Yeah, oh no, I totally saw it, folks. I totally saw it. I just thought this would be more dramatic. Literally the vote that, like, tipped the balance there. Oh my God. You know, if I'd called it when I said I would call it, cooperation would have won 10-9. And then after I had my sip of water and gave it a couple more seconds, it became 10-10, and I was like, oh no, it's a tie. It's gonna be up to me. And then we came the swing towards elimination. Here we go. Oh my God, that was a completely unexpected roller coaster ride. All right, okay. So 2, right? I guess 2. Yeah, evidently Ease has his way again, Jazzy V. Evidently he does. This is a historic moment. This is wild, actually. That was one of my favorite, like, polls we've had in some time. All right. God damn it. All right. We will... I can't even say this straight. All right. We will eliminate all who oppose the state. No reaction. I assure you that this period will not last long. That's a lie. The state will swiftly address the situation. Maybe the Blutish issue will finally be addressed. Blood separatists will soon be... No, I think the state will swiftly address the situation. We got more than just the Bloods to care about, right? There's the Red Youth, there's the Bloods, there's Friends Richter. Let's go broad strokes, I think. The state will swiftly address the situation. I saluted the crowd. Ooh, for a strong Sordland, right? For a strong Sordland. I feel like it's most fitting. Marius is greatest of all time, savior and a god. Just tipping the balance there. Plus 19, how's it going, buddy? How's it going? Yeah, I hear you. Thanks. And I appreciate no spoilers. Thank you. But having a beautiful Friday, I hope. Glad you could join us. Sean C, cue the balloons. The confetti, the balloons. It's all in like party colors, like the purple and gold and all that. Adam Donnelly, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Don't know this game, probably wouldn't even like it, but damn P, you are too entertaining to not watch. I appreciate that greatly. It really does mean a lot. It's a fun game, but it makes it so easy to have a good time with, you know. Yeah, I think peace and stability. Get out of here, Jazz. It'll be peace and stability. Peace and stability and strength, right? No, that's what I'm thinking. Like for peace and Sordland, for a strong Sordland. I feel like if we say for peace and Sordland, people will be like, look at the violence on the streets. You call this peace? You know, I feel like we're opening ourselves for a good old fashioned kneecapping. Let's go with for a strong Sordland. I feel like it's also very much in character. I don't disagree with the angle there, Jazzy B, but I feel like this is you know, with all the applause we were getting and with this like tirade we've been on, I feel like this reign would say for a strong Sordland. The assembly roared with all kinds of different reactions. While most of the USP members applauded, all of the opposition yelled in protest as I left the stand. Thank you for the announcement, Mr. President. Sounds of protest gradually increased as I walked towards my seat. Monsoon Leek started yelling at me again. You are just like Saul! Leave Blutish people alone! Kisaro stood up from his seat and yelled back at Monsoon. You live in Sordland, Mr. Leek! You cannot fight against this country and expect it not to react! Gloria started hitting the gavel again when the situation escalated further. Order! Gentlemen, when will you learn to behave like adults? I left the hall when Gloria diverted their attention back at her. After the heavy reaction I've got, I walked back to the palace in silence. Achievement unlocked, Article 100. I know it doesn't pop up on screen, so I thought I'd mention it. Yo. Peace through strength. Yeah, we'll see about that. You can go eliminate and not go strong. Oh, you're saying you can't go eliminate and then not go strong. It wouldn't line up. I'm sure you can make it line up. It's a way to like soften the blow. Sealed it like Saul. That's an honor. Oh man. There it is. Oh, okay. Everyone's got something to say. I really wonder what the Radical has to say about this. We've got updates across the board, and just as a reminder, seeing this little notification pop up at Borin reminds me that we did get word that preparations for the festival at Benfi are underway, so I'm curious how that'll be affected by all these... Look, emergency powers, the decisions we just made today and last session are huge. And I expect almost everything to feel very different moving forward. And I'm very curious to see that. And Jazzy B, if I recall correctly, you said you have not enacted emergency powers at all, right? You've always gone with the constitutional reforms? Because I so very underprepared, because normally you have an inkling of what's gonna go down based on decisions, because you've played the game quite a bit, so this is completely unfamiliar territory for I think a few of us. Oh man. Taking a look at chat here real quick. Peace through power. Sounds like something a despot would say. All right. What are we looking at here? Let's go ahead and deal with internal issues first. Then we'll look at the news, and then we'll go with Halsor. Always gone for reform. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see the butterfly effect of declaring emergency superpowers. The report from Suzerain, leader of the Workers' Party of Bludia, arrested. Oh, it begins. This is our Order 66, isn't it? With just as much killing or less killing? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. The Swordish Intelligence Agency reports that the leader of the WPB, Fethi Ejal, was seen in direct contact with an ex-member of the banned Blutish Freedom Party. Ejal was later detained on suspicion of working with the BFF. I think that's reasonable. Hours after his arrest, the ex-BFP member protested the incident and declared that he will join the BFF and bring many Blutish people with him if the state continues to detain innocent Blutish people. This move comes right after the declaration of the new emergency decree confirmed suspicions of their connection, and further investigations were started. Both men were arrested on terrorism charges. If you were so willing to join the BFF, if you're so willing to use joining a terrorist organization as a threat, then that probably means you weren't too far from doing it in the first place if you weren't already, in bed with them. So this just further affirms our opinion of the Blutish people and the connection between the BFP and the BFF. Right? Like, innocent, Blutish people. Now there's an oxymoron. Ain't that the truth? Now Order 66, Order 2. Oh dear. Yeah, yeah, you know what? This just makes me double down. It's like it just shows how quick they are to go to the to the most extreme option, to the extreme-ust option, huh? God, I feel pretty good about that one. Okay, the report from Boren. Red Youth leader publicly announces they will not recognize emergency decree. That's not up to you, man. Who the hell do you think you are? The leader of the Red Youth has publicly announced through local newspapers that they will not recognize the emergency. He has also declared that the Red Youth is not and never was a terrorist organization. In response, known Red Youth headquarters were promptly raided and the terrorists there arrested by the police. I do like the reports are referring to these people as per the decrees because, of course, these are government reports, right? Adam Donnelly, thank you for that room shot. Look, it was bad, but that's the thing about puns. They got to be so bad they're good. We got some country overview stuff to look at. Stronger presidential decrees. Yeah, you don't say. According to Article 18 and 51 of the new Constitution, the jurisdiction of the presidential decrees will have priority over statute laws made by the Grand National Assembly. The presidential decrees may not be subject to judicial review. And over here we've got these things in red. Red, see, look. Red means good here. Oppression, strong word, of the Blutish people. Come on now. Come on now. Actions taken by the Swedish government are clearly designed to oppress the Blutish population in the country, causing civil strife and institutionalized racism. Limited human rights. Sordland has limited rights given to its people due to the harsh security laws that exist. No, due to the immense threat that exists both inside and outside. Come on now. Order, we've got suspension of protests. The right for peaceful protest will be suspended, and an extension, the freedom to assemble and organize and the freedom of expression will be restricted. My God, what have we done? Police's use of force, orders for confiscations, as well as its right to stop and frisk are permissible beyond the legal limits otherwise prescribed. All right? Prisons overcrowded. Well, I can think of one solution for that. Miss Man Jones, how's it going? Glad you can make it. What's the gist of this game? You came at like the darkest possible minute, honestly. So in this game, you play as the president of a relatively young nation, going through all sorts of turmoil. It's a fictional world, fictional nation, set in the 50s, sort of similar to our 50s, the real world 50s. But you are the fourth president of this country, as it is going through internal struggle, external pressures, a recession, and all kinds of nonsense, and you're trying to make it all work as the president. It's a text-based RPG with tons of branching paths and all kinds of stories to tell, and then actually going down a despotic path in this playthrough, whereas in the last playthrough I played as a much nicer individual, I would say. But here we're taking bribes, we're working with corporations, we're shutting down workers' rights, we're branding people terrorists just because they don't like us. Whereas in our previous playthrough, we were trying to make everybody happy. We were all about workers' rights and tax the rich and all that kind of stuff. And it's really showing the huge variety of options in this game. But it is a text-based RPG where you are trying to lead a nation to success. Question mark. Success is maybe a strong word after the decisions we just made. Lesson 19 sounds like a dictator game. No, it is not a dictator game. No, it is a politician game. You can be a dictator. You can be hard left. You can be hard right. You can be right down the middle. You can be a capitalist. You can be a communist. You can be mixed economy. There's all sorts of decisions, and it's really open in the options you have, which is part of what makes the game so insanely amazing. literally all the this dictatorial is that the word I'm looking for? This angle that we're taking is completely the polar opposite of the angle we took in our first playthrough, and it's a good way to show the range of this game. Wide ranging. I think I was probably influenced by what my eyes were seeing. The massive amounts of arrests caused by the instability and the violation of the suspension of protests caused most prisons to be overcrowded. Wide-ranging security powers. Law enforcement has wide-ranging powers given to them by the newly declared emergency decree that allows them to exercise authority with little restraint. It's funny to me that these two are actually, that this is actually in green. That should definitely be in red. We're letting the police do things that they really shouldn't be allowed to do. This should definitely be in red, man. I'm curious as to why this is in green. Diplomacy. We're embargoing Runeberg now. Under the new emergency decree, all trade, travel, and most diplomatic relations with Runeberg are to be stopped. So that's the country overview taken care of. And let's go ahead and take a look at the news and see what the world has to say about us. If you can use your opponents against each other, were we able to do that? I'm trying to remember if we were able to kind of like manipulate people in our previous playthrough. We had some manipulation going on within our party, and we had conversations with other parties' leaders as well. I wonder if that'll come up this time, because manipulation is definitely the name of the game when you're a despot, right? Oh, there's one more report over here. I completely missed that. Emergency decree started to be implemented. After the declaration of the new emergency decree, the implementation of the new laws has begun. Government workers, the Swordish police force, Swordish armed forces, and other agencies have been informed of their next steps, while some departments were restructured to accommodate new requirements. Fair enough, fair enough. Again, just as a reminder, last time we spent most of our budget on, education and healthcare and just welfare stuff, whereas this playthrough we're going to be spending our money on the police and the military. Again, like polar opposite. Polar opposite. Well, good for you is green, totally. I hear that, but if that's the case, then shouldn't oppression of Blutish people also be green for me? But I don't think this or like limited women's rights. Again, just to be clear, we're taking a very traditionalist angle with this character, right? In our previous playthrough, we were all for women's rights and equality and all that kind of stuff. But this playthrough, we're like, no, we're, of course, women have rights, but we can't forget the traditional family values, and women have to blah blah take care of the family, raise the children, blah blah blah. So based on our character, this would be in green, but it's not. The color coding is based on something, and I'm curious what it is, because I don't want to say the color coding is based on what the game thinks is right, because the game does a very good job of not making things right or wrong. You know what I mean? Things are either, I would say, dangerous or not dangerous. Like lack of allies, that's dangerous. Experienced diplomats, that's good. You know what I'm getting at? So I feel like the color coding means something else. The Hallsword Post. Sordland declares state of emergency. Effective immediately, with the powers given to him as the president of Sordland, Anton Rain has announced that an emergency will be declared for the entirety of Sordland. The state also declared a trade embargo on Runeberg, severing all diplomatic ties with them. In a televised address on Wednesday, Rain said the decision was made following the bloody events that broke out across Sordland. In accordance with Article 57 and 58 of the Constitution, the state holds the right to order for these measures to be taken in a situation of emergency like we have today, said President Rain before declaring the state of emergency. The decision comes as no surprise due to the recent escalations in the violence around the country, many of which were organized and funded by Runeberg. With the expansionist northern threat neighboring our borders, our security forces and the military were given a debrief on the situation as preparations were underway to implement the emergency security decree that was signed by President Rain. Public services announced all citizens to remain calm and stay away from going to crowded areas if it's not critically necessary until the remainder of the emergency. So if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can feel free to correct me in chat if I've got this wrong, but the Hallsword Post is in our pocket, right? They're the ones that we're buddy with, right? Because what was the guy's name? Who did we? So Tusk is one guy we're getting along with, but Tusk, he's Underhall construction, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't Tusk, it was the other guy that we went to his resort or whatever to speak with him. Name is skipping me right now. Sounds like military testing underway. Maybe able to lob infants strapped in... Oh, dear lord. It's a different meaning to child soldiers. Yeah, it might be Sordland today instead. What is the name of that media conglomerate? I'm not going to be able to find it unless I remember the guy's name, and I cannot. Business? Karanti. HOS? Oh yeah, Sordland today. Okay, so the Hallsword Post is just actually... just by themselves with us as well. Fair enough. So Sordland today should be super with us, because again, we made a deal with this guy, and he should only be printing positive news about us. Emergency has been declared all over Sordland, and the announcement has been conveyed through all official channels. Frankly, it was about time. There it is. People of Sordland are sick of the violence and terror on the streets after the recent events. As a response to this, President Rain has shown his diligence by protecting the country from an unspeakable demise. We can only hope that the riots and the terrorism will stop quickly. There it is. That's the pro-Rain sentiment I was hoping for. Frankly, it was about time. So flippant. Blackhaven Times. Emergency declared. Facing a worried nation on the brink of a potential dramatic spike in political violence, President Rain gave a public speech in the Grand National Assembly of Sordland, pleading with the protesters to stay home to protect the stability of the nation. That's not what I did. Rain's public speech was followed by an official declaration of a state of emergency. The declaration, which became effective the same day, covers all of Sordland and gives the law enforcement extensive powers. The reasons for the emergency was cited to be the political violence that was initiated by the Red Youth Organization, as well as Blutish separatists that worked inside the Workers' Party of Blutia, both of which were also recognized as terrorist organizations. Subsequently, the Workers' Party of Blutia was banned from politics and recognized as a national security threat after connections between the party and the terrorist Blutish Freedom Front were discovered. Head of the police, Mr. Grieser, has said that all members and affiliates of the Red Youth and the WPB will be held accountable and brought to justice, adding that there is no place for separatists or millennialist extremists in Sordland. The police forces are already being deployed to the populated areas around the country as of today. The state will swiftly take care of the situation and eliminate all terrorist threats. We ask our citizens to be patient until the state reassures us that we can continue with our lives as normal, which will be very soon, said Lilias Graff in a public speech after the official declaration of the Emergency Act. So this is actually very interesting. I was absolutely expecting Mr. Grieser to be completely against this. Just as a reminder, again, in our previous playthrough, this guy was all for the anti-corruption, the ACC, I forget, our anti-corruption police. He was, on our side through all of that, and I expected him to maybe resign or something after this declaration, but he seems on board. He seems just as hungry for power over here. Wild. Wild. 0 Degrees, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. Again, if you are, you know what to do. Let me know down below. Hit that like button. And share your thoughts, share your opinion. That's wild. Over to the Radical. These guys are always going to have some random radical opinion. I feel like Jazzy always has the abbreviation on hand, Saketh. Yeah, Grieser is with us. There we go. We don't need any ACCCAAP nonsense. We need... Oh, dear Lord. Let's go back to the newspaper. That's a few too many S's to make me comfortable. Well, I'm curious if you actually have full forms of these on hand. A red shirt with menacing tone. It was about time written on it. I would buy. It was about time. We might need to make one in reference to or in parallel to our "It Had to Be Done" shirt for full of Crusader Kings references. I should maybe note that down. I got a couple of ideas being floated right now. As soon as Miss Elite has more time, and as soon as I have more time, maybe we'll get to work on some of those things. It's about time. That turn of phrase always reminds me of the StarCraft 2 reveal, the announcement trailer. Hell, it's about time. All right, democracy on hold. President Anton Rain has announced that the country will be placed under a state of emergency in response to the ongoing political violence. As Rain starts to warm his seat in the Maroon Palace, we can now see him for what he really is, an authoritarian like his predecessor, Colonel Saul. The new Emergency Act serves only to destroy the opposition against the president, who the state claims to be enemies of the state. This is a sick move against the peaceful protesters on the street, as well as all opposing voices who have a platform. Thousands are already in jail, and many more are expected to follow. President Rain stands ready to bring down the insecure authoritarianism that once the founder of his party promoted, which inflicted many wounds to this country that never healed. We have seen this coming years ago and warned our citizens of the threat the USP poses for our country. The party now has apparently seen the incoming threat to their rule with a decrease in their supporters and decided to finally take control with force. Sordland is returning to the bloody days of the past, while President Rain is sitting in the Maroon Palace and watching the chaos prevail. We, the team here at The Radical, condemn the President and the USP for this imbalanced response. I don't know, man. It was a pretty sick move. Yeah, Jazzy B, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, sick moves, bro. Yeah, see? Yeah. At least like 5 people in Sordland are like, yeah, it's a pretty sick move. I agree with it. M. Hussein, so Torpor Games, they seem to be working on something. They're being somewhat hush-hush. They seem to be working on something, though. I think, if I recall correctly, last time they were on stream, and they mentioned that Suzerain is pretty much in a done kind of a state. Don't quote me on this. This is off the top of my head from memory from last week when they were in chat. Suzerain is in sort of a done state. It might get some, I guess, minor updates, I imagine, maybe. But as far as big things, not so much. However, the world is still ripe for all sorts of storylines and stuff. So I think, purely speculation, I think they're maybe thinking about a sequel or what's it called when it's not actually sequential? Oh god, there's a word for it. When you have like a series, but they're not like tied together sequentially, but they're still tied together from like the where their setting is and stuff like that. There's a term for it, and I'm blanking on it. I had it as I was saying the rest of the sentence, and then it disappeared, like a bunch of people's rights just did in our country. No, not a spin-off, not a spin-off. It's like American Horror Story, right? Every season has the same characters and the same overall like vibe, but they're completely different settings. They're completely different storylines. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Emergency will destroy our economy. As the emergency was declared today, the effects in the Swordish trade have already been seen. Oh man. A really quick dive into Swordish Ren's value doesn't need any point to be proven. Sordland is an unstable trade partner with its current state. Declaring emergencies is not exactly a good way to invite investors to your country. There are a few possibilities. Either President Rain doesn't care about his fellow countrymen, or he doesn't care about the economy. Or worse, both. Anthology series. That's what it was. An anthology series is where things are tied together, but they're not sequential. So that's the term. Spiritual sequel. You're looking for the term. I think spiritual successor. Though I think spiritual sequel works as well. But yeah. An anthology series is what I was looking for. So same setting, similar characters perhaps. Like we'd hear about Anton Rain in maybe this next game set in the same universe. We'd hear about the same countries, but we'd be in a completely different place. So it's not really a sequel per se, even though it might be next in the timeline. But because it's all different characters and all that, it's a step to the side. Is this on the test? Sorry. I go on these tangents off. My apologies. The Rat Bastard got it. Yeah. Anthology series. Thank you. Yes. All right. International response to the emergency declaration in Sordland. Alliance of Nations has reported that they are watching Sordland with worry. Arcasian President Dwight Walker condemned the declaration of emergency as well as the events leading up to the event, while United Kantanen leader Melaniev said that this is not the sign of a good leader. Among the regional neighbors of Sordland, only the Republic of Welland seemed to be approving the Swordish government's attitude, while all other neighbors, Agnolia, Roomburg, Lesbia, and Vogsland, have mentioned their disapproval with the incidents going on in Sordland. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Even our allies, I guess, were turning out to be fair weather allies as opposed to all weather allies. Agnolia is condemning our decisions. What kind of a friend are you? Devs have suggested that there is more to tell about Kantana, as they're not meant to be identical to the Soviets. Okay, but they did say there's so many other things to tell. the earlier Saul years, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next. And to answer your question, OmkarJ, if there is like a sequel, whatever form it takes, 100%. Whatever game Torpor Games puts out next, I'm going to check out. After this experience, I don't. It could be about something completely different. It could be a completely different game. It could be a completely different genre. I'm going to check it out because clearly they know how to make a good experience, right? And whatever it might be, I'll give it a look. As long as it matches the themes of the channel, I'll put it on the channel. If it's like if it's completely unmatching, honestly, I might even still, just because it's by these guys. Joel Truss, bringing the communists and capitalists together since 1954. Hey, yeah, man, I'm all about that unity, right? I'm all about that unity. Wonder if they'll license a board game. Oh, that could be cool. Oh, this looks like a board from a board game. The colors and everything, I could see this printed. Makes me think of Twilight. What's it called? Twilight Struggle. All right, dinner with the business council members. Restaurant Asteria at Lackhaven. We're already here? Oh, that's so fast. We were in Lackhaven to work with the business council to assess weaknesses in the economy. Simon organized a dinner with the affluent economic figureheads of Sordland. We were escorted by heavily armed police forces as well as the Presidential Guard. When we arrived, the streets were quiet and police forces were patrolling everywhere. The emergency was felt in the vacant city. Oh. Together with Walter Tusk, Edith Anyok, Mikhail Avin, and Simon Hall, we entered the renowned Asteria restaurant by the coast. A short blonde man whose embroidered pocket red manager greeted us and waved his arms in excitement as he told us how pleased he was to have us in his establishment. Beaming with pride, he led us to a private room and got us seated at a large table covered for the occasion with a maroon tablecloth. We were quickly served by a group of servers. Walter spoke as they started taking our orders. I recommend the Lackhaven salmon of this place, President. I know that you're from Lackhaven, but I bet you haven't tasted anything like this before. Don't get me wrong, but of course I've tasted this greatness many times here already. Again, we're from a wealthy family, right? That's our background. And if this guy's going to showboat, then I'm a showboat right back. Bomb under the table. Oh my God, ease. I wouldn't be surprised if this is how we go, you know? Don't get me wrong, Mr. Tusk, but of course I've tasted this greatness many times here already. Excuse me, President. I should have known that a man of your caliber would be a regular at Asteria. Order lesbian pasta, traditional Sordish bean stew. You know what? I'll get the salmon anyway. If it's so good, I'll get the salmon. A fine meal with fine guests. I hear the salmon is great. I ordered Lackhaven salmon for the main course, and the servers took their notes and asked about the second dish. Rice. Let's go with rice. Yeah. Gotta love some good rice. The servers placed glasses in front of each of us and served bread and water. After they were done taking orders, they quickly left us alone in the private room. Several of the heavily armed guards were also inside with us, protecting every entrance and exit. None of this was there last time. We had this meeting. Mr. President, I didn't have the possibility to thank you for coming today. Your presence means a great deal. Indeed, sir. It is an honor to dine with you. It's great to be here with the members of the Business Council. We should thank Simon for organizing this meeting. No need for that. I hope everybody enjoys the evening. Simon gestured at the expensive-looking red wine bottle that one of the servers had just brought to the table. Mr. President? Yes. That looks amazing. Well, it tastes even better. Best of Lesbia, the Chateau de Falenco 1934. Simon poured some wine in my glass and waited for me to taste it before filling it up. Oh, I was expecting to be the one to, but of course I'm the president. Why would I be pouring everyone a glass? I guess that makes sense. That didn't go the direction I expected. Does Rain eat his dinner with a cigar in his mouth? Of course, it adds an extra je ne sais quoi to the flavors, right? Modifies the flavor profile. I took a sip. The taste of the wine was immediately stimulating and delightful to my palate. It immediately reminded me of our visits to my father's vineyard when I was a little kid. I wonder how different this is based on your background. The wine's sweet and bitter flavors exploded in my mouth. The aroma of gooseberries and lilacs tumbled across my tongue, and my mouth tingled with them long after I'd swallowed. How is it? Is the taste to your liking? It tastes like any other wine. All this elaborate, like, description. Oh, you could hear 1,000 angelic voices, you know, singing in your ear, hushed whispers of your grandeur and greatness. How is the wine? It's like any other wine. No, it tastes like heaven. Reminds me of my father's vineyard. Again, if we're showboating, let's showboat, right? Smoked salmon. Hey. Yes, I love it. Also, my favorite way of having salmon. Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite. Tastes like heaven. Reminds me of my father's vineyard. I've heard that he was a big wine connoisseur. May he rest in peace. They don't need to know about my relationship with my father. Thank you. Simon filled up my glass. After filling everybody's glasses, Simon stood up and raised his glass. I'd like to raise a toast to all of you here today. We're meeting here tonight in difficult times, but I believe that with hard work, cooperation, and trust, we will get through this period as well. I'd like to thank Mr. Rain again for his decisiveness in office. I'm sure we will get through this emergency period and come out stronger. I also thank Mr. Tusk for being here with us today. His presence is an honor. And of course, my colleagues from the Business Council, Mrs. Anyok and Mr. Avon. Without you, none of these would have been possible. Let's drink to future cooperation and growth. For a prosperous Sordland. Everybody raised their glasses and toasted each other. After a couple more minutes, the servers arrived with our meals. When I tasted the food, I went back to my past. It reminded me of my childhood in this city. Even though I couldn't recall much about my father, I remembered that he also loved the food of Asteria. As all of us started eating, Walter stopped and looked at the guards before turning to me. I know that we're in a state of emergency, Mr. Rain, but can't we even eat alone? What are they protecting here? They've already surrounded the whole restaurant. What are they protecting here? Me. They're protecting me. Gooseberries and lilacs. Yeah, Yennefer's perfume, right? I was like, what? That sounds familiar. I gotta go back in Witcher 3. I do suspect, without wanting to hurt expectations too much, that part of their new work might just include a port of the game to iOS, Android, and Switch. Oh, fair enough. I mean, hey, if this game gets ported to more platforms and they get more success for it, and their next, major like sequel or whatever it ends up being is better funded for it, then what's there to be I think disappointed about, personally at least. More power to them, right? I'll be curious for whatever their next full title is, though, of course. Robert S. Can you get assassinated in this? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. You can get assassinated. You can survive assassination attempts. You can get thrown into a full-fledged war. There are nukes. It can get wild. It can get pretty wild. Yeah, I think he wants the guards out of here so we can talk more freely. And I'm not sure, right? Like, I don't think any of these guys are out to get me. On the topic of Robert S. just like sliding in there. Hey, can you get assassinated in this? It's like, yeah, those are the vibes I'm getting from this conversation as well. But I don't know. I don't think these guys really have much against me. I've helped them so far. I'm on their side, I think 3 is right. Yeah, absolutely. I think so, Kai and Ease. I think you're right there. Conrado C, how's it going, buddy? Having a wonderful Friday, I hope. Glad you could join us. The moment at the end of the last one was sensational. Surprised everyone, so well done. Oh, yeah. Dude, it threw me off. I was like, that's not what I expected at all. That's not how or when or why I expected things to go down. That was a great moment in the last playthrough. All right, I can take them out if you want, Mr. Tusk. Please. Please leave the room, you scared Mr. Tusk. No. Can you guys leave us alone here, please? The guards bowed their heads and went outside. Walter sighed in relief. So, how did you find the food of the best fine dining restaurant in Lackhaven, Mr. President? Wow. Two or 4. Hey, it's okay. I love there's that option of just like being completely like jaded. Like, yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Yeah, whatever. No, exactly, Omkar. I don't think they would. I don't think they would actually try to kill me or anything. They know I'm on their side, right? So I don't think they tried anything. I kind of like fine food is like fine art, but this particular one is a masterpiece. Or this can't get old. It's an experience the chef must be tipped. Well, let's go with fine food is like fine art, but this particular one is a masterpiece. I dropped dead because the food is poisoned. I know exactly what you mean. Art is something else. It embodies so much about us and the world surrounding our lives. And food, there's an art of everything. The art of making money, food, wine, and love. Oh, Walter, every time you open your goddamn mouth, you make my skin crawl, man. How are things going in the Maroon Palace? The pressure must have increased after you did not attend that funeral. I have to say, the future is looking good. We have to encourage, we have to make them feel confident in the state of things so that they have confidence in us, so they can keep lining my pockets. So I have to say, the future is looking good. That's great to hear. As we conversed with Mikhail, I heard Walter raise his voice in an apparent argument with Edith and Simon. We both stopped to listen. Arcasia knows the right way of doing business. Their approach to the world is real and raw. I prefer that cutthroat approach in comparison to the niceties. Well, I mean, it's a nice country to visit too. I've traveled there often in business trips. Their attitude on all countries are nice to visit if you have the cash. Ooh, interesting, Edith. Interesting. Economist and banker. Okay. First woman to hold this position as the chairwoman of the Central Bank of Sordland. She certainly seems to be, one of these is not like the other, it seems, right? Oh, I'm not sure, Darab Bassett. I don't know. The visual doesn't come to mind for me. That Walter Tusk looking like Buford T. Justice. That doesn't ring a bell for me. Watch out for funerals and military parades. That's how they get you. Yeah, when there's a crowd and it's loud and people are distracted. Okay, alright, interesting. Money does turn the world around. Travel is the least you can buy with it. Holy, ain't that the truth? Certainly not all. Exactly, how about the people who don't have extra cash to spend? I'm curious where this goes. I kind of want to see... I want to get a measure of who I'm dealing with here. I need to make sure if I say something to Edith, if we ever have a private conversation, I need to know what kind of person she is, so she's comfortable lining my pockets too. So let's stay silent and just kind of see where this goes. Mikhail joined in. Oh, excellent. Oh, Kai, I just saw your option 1. They are Darabasted, but I've been curious for a while to check it out, or to check them out, I should say, and just haven't had the time to, unfortunately. All right, Mikhail joined in. It certainly depends on what you're looking for. Cultural tourism doesn't require a fancy hotel. Last time I went somewhere for that sort of thing was at university. And even then we had our wild times thanks to Conrad's connected entourage. Also, Walter is taking us down the rabbit hole again. By the way, I saw that Underhall construction has already started with the railway construction. That project will surely boost our economy. The mood is already very positive. The relief package was also a great investment. It has already saved many businesses from declaring bankruptcy. I have to congratulate Mr. Rain for such major projects. No need for that, Mr. Avon. No, hold on. Oh, I don't know. See, I obviously want credit. I want them to be like, yes, I'm responsible. Do I go all out and say 3? Say, I hope the investment's returns will be great? Or is that implied if I say thank you for your support? Yeah, you know what? Well, let's go with 3. Let's go with 3. You want to talk about how good I've been? You think so, Kai, too? No need for that. The state is just doing its job. The reason why I hesitate to do that is because I want them to feel beholden to me. Personally. Really? Ease just saying 2 as well. Okay, interesting. Jazzy B saying 1 or 3. Yeah, I'm surprised that... Because saying the state is doing its job is implying that... that the government is stepping in. Well, I guess it's stepping in to help these businesses. See, that's what I mean. So there's lines to read between here. Though I'm seeing a fair bit of support for 2. It's always implied that everyone has their hand in the cash register. Ain't that the truth? I could go with 3 here. I hope the investment returns will be great. We are the state. Do they feel that way, though? Do they feel that way? Or do they think I'm saying my cabinet and my ministers and stuff are doing their job? You know what I mean? Because I don't want them going around bribing my, Minister of Economy and all that kind of stuff. I want them bribing me. No need for that, Mr. Avon. The state is just doing its job. Oh, I mean, we could try it, sure. You know what? I see the game won't view it that way. This is an economic access discussion, not social. Okay. All right, then I think maybe 3 is. Oh, Jesus, is a tough one. I'm also trying to figure out what Anton would actually say. I don't think he'd be like, "Don't thank me." I think he'd be like, "I expect something in return." That's a tough one for me. I think we'll go with 3 though. I hope the investment returns will be great. I worry where 2 would take us. Yeah, I worry they'll be like, "Okay, now hang on now. Let's not give the government too much credit." You know what I mean? Tamas Istvan Kotvelias, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show. I apologize if I butchered the pronunciation there, but please feel free to correct me if you're in chat. But thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. Conrado says, also, what is this talk about the state owing people infrastructure? What are you, a communist? I mean, that's... Yeah. If this was CK3, the 2 option would gain stress. Good parallel. Yeah, exactly, Ease. I think we saw with our first playthrough that interpretations were often not aligned with how the game saw it versus what we were thinking, yeah. Got to be careful about that, right? So let's double down on our capitalist ways. I hope the investment returns will be great. We all hope so, Mr. President, but I think it will work out. Mr. Hall also deserves credit, of course, our great economy minister. Is there a joke coming? Why? I thought you said you were great at economy. He laughed. I mean, okay. I've heard that you've brought a new villa, Simon. I don't comment on rumors, but I'll make an exception since we are among friends. It's true. A new villa, nice. Where's the property? You're doing a great job, so you deserve it. No, hold on. I want a villa for myself. Poppy Fire, how's it going? Nice to see you alive in such fatal times. Well, we're making it. You know, one day at a time, one emergency act at a time. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I'm glad you can make it. All right, where's the property? I want one. It's a small seaside villa at the outskirts of Conriat. It's just a modest house with a swimming pool and a small golf course in the property. It's just a modest house. God damn it, Simon. Great city to buy real estate in. Conriat is seeing a surge, so you're becoming a neighbor to Karanti. Modest, are you being sarcastic? No. Yeah, great city to buy real estate in. Conriat is seeing a surge of investments. Underhall Construction made a fortune constructing houses there. Oh no, they're all going to collapse. Where there is a demand, there is supply. The market rules supreme, as always. Edith, who was sitting to my left, gently put her hand over my arm for a few seconds. Edith? I'm a married man. Come on, let's not talk about finance or politics for now. We came here to relax. She turned to Walter and Simon. Isn't that right, gentlemen? They nodded at her and took a sip from their drinks. She slightly leaned towards me. I'm a married man, Edith. So, Mr. Rain, why don't you tell us what's behind that strong character of yours? I've heard that your father was a very wealthy man. Would you say that it contributed a lot to your success? I'm kind of tempted to say, First of all, Matthew, welcome to chat. Glad you can make it. I hope I didn't miss you earlier. Hope you have a good time. But yes, exactly. Modest golf course on the property. Choose one. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. Yeah, Jazzy B, that's priceless. Yeah. What's behind that strong character of yours? My wife, Miss Agnac. Please, step away. I love it. I absolutely love it. She is powerful, yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking my My father's money isn't what made me, you know? That's what I was leaning towards myself. Julian Burberry, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. Again, if you are, you know what to do. Let me know down below. Hit that like button. If you're watching the VOD, leave a comment. All makes a big difference. We've got about 50 people watching, less than 40 likes. Let me know, folks. Let me know. Yeah, it didn't contribute much. My success has nothing to do with that. Of course not. You've worked hard for it. After all, money can't buy diligence. I never met your family, Mr. President. How are they doing, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, they're doing great. This sounds so like such a lie. We're doing great. We have no problems. No, they're doing great. No problems. That's great to hear. Your son must be very proud of you. Family is everything. My advice would be to make sure that Frank has a solid relationship with you. He is your future, after all. Saying that to somebody whose father was barely there, I'm very, very tactful, Walter, very tactful. I'm trying my best to be a good father to him. He seems to be somewhat introverted. He's going through the teenager period. It's difficult to connect with him. He's a little shy. The kid can handle himself. He doesn't need anybody else. Why do you even care? No, I'm trying my best to be a good father to him. That's the truth. He seems to be somewhat introverted. I wouldn't want to admit that to this crowd, but it's the truth. Yeah, I'm trying my best to be a good father to him. He seems somewhat introverted. I wish that was my son's biggest problem. Darren seemed to be doing fine. I saw that his yacht party in Benfey made the local news. Ugh. Well, the rascal didn't even ask for permission to use the yacht and just took it. He basically stole it. Good news is that I finally convinced him to go to university. He'll study economics in Lockhaven Business School. Well, that's a good choice. Having a degree in Sordland separates you from the rabble, and we especially need more people who understand economics. Talking of which, it's great that we have another leader who actually studied economics and understands it, like Mr. Alfonso. This conversation is completely different from last time, folks. None of this is familiar. I know, Kai, doesn't it? Oh my god. He stole the yacht. Boo-hoo. It's like, go friggin' dive off a cliff, man. He stole my modest boat. My 50-foot yacht. You know, the great autocrats all tend to be very loyal to both their wives and their lovers. God. Yeah, I mean, hey, despots, there's so many angles I could take with that. I'm like paralyzed by the choices. There are too many options I could go with. This is like the dinner discussion in American Psycho. The dinner discussion. Oh man, the last time I watched that movie was so long ago, I can't remember it. Which scene are you talking about? Oh, the dinner. American Psycho. Oh, I can't remember. The last time I watched the movie was probably like 5 or 6 years ago now. And the some sequences obviously that stand out, but I can't remember the dinner discussion. Look at what he caused. Studying doesn't get you to the finish line. Alfonso was an inspiration for all reformists. We're in the mess because of him. His political failure nearly destroyed us. Or thank you. I'm thinking thank you maybe is the way to go there. Because if they worship this guy, which they probably do, because Mr. Alfonso is the one who, what's it called? Oh my god. Like, changed our economy and favored businesses and stuff like that. But an inspiration for all reformists. I mean, what kind of reform are we talking about there? I'm kind of concerned about that. I think a simple thank you, I think, is the way to go here. Yeah. I have the business card scene playing in my head now. Everyone around the table should exchange business cards so we can judge each other's characters. Thank you. Yeah, they don't need to know my opinions of him, exactly. I hope we can repair the damages to our economy. We can't fail like Alfonso did. Okay, so at least they know his shortcomings as well. They're not blindly loyal or anything like that. We are some kind of reformist. That is true. That is true. But I just worry what that means to these guys, right? A correction. It wasn't his policies that destroyed him. It was the old guard. No, Walter. No. We don't have this conversation. You don't want to say this again in public. I'm kind of tempted to shut him up. You know, it might not be a bad idea, because we're in bed with the old guard now. It might not be a bad idea to hear what he has to say about them. Yeah. Oh, it's tempting. It's tempting, because 4 is tempting here. It's like, Walter, shut up, man. You know? But no, I think we should find out what he's getting at here. He obviously knows more than he's letting on right now, and we need to be prepared. Knowledge is power, right? What do you mean? He threatened their economic power base over the country through a vast privatization plan. They removed him and backed you after. Walter, stop with the conspiracy theories. I think we've had enough drinks. Everyone went quiet. After a long silence, followed by some chit-chat, Walter ordered a bottle of whiskey. That's one good-looking bottle. The waiters brought one of the finest Arcasian whiskeys. It was time for a toast. Yeah, I think I'm probably enough of an egomaniac to be like, yeah, my toast. Kids will be kids. I remember when I stole my dad's limo, this stuff happens. I turned out fine. I mean, kids will be kids is something I can definitely get behind. I think the joke is more on the, damn, kid stole my yacht. Now, I don't know if you're joking about the limo or not. I can't tell. Walter needs to be removed. Walter needs to be replaced. Quite possibly. But I need to hear what I wanted to hear what he had to say. And he definitely has his own interests in mind there, obviously, right? Like the privatization plan, it favors him. So what he had to say has no bearing on us. In fact, this now has made Walter a bit of a suspicious character for us, absolutely. Rain dies of intoxication, please no. I stood up to give a toast. To a constructive and beneficial future, to our wealth and success, to an equal society without class differences. Yeah, this is the right crowd for that toast. To our wealth and success. Let's be honest. That's all that truly matters to any of us. Cheers to that! I think it's time we call it a night. Edith stood up. Most of us were all a little tipsy at this point. I want to thank you, Mr. President, for joining us, and you, Simon, for putting all this together. Thank you, Edith, for joining with a bunch of ugly rich men. Gotta have a sense of humor, right? That's definitely not me. This guy's got a solid jaw. Look at that jaw. The president of jokes. Thanks for being here. After bidding our farewells, we slowly walked out the restaurant. Sorry, the president of jokes is pretty good. The moon was shining bright as everyone except Walter left in their luxury cars. Oh, here we go. President, a moment alone, please. He gestured at the guards and then called me inside the small VIP lounge. Yeah, we'll have this conversation. Pockets are feeling awfully light. I followed him inside. Usually the Lothar spokesman doesn't directly comment on the administration, but I'd like to say a few things since this was a special evening. I'm all ears. Go ahead. We're really concerned about the state of emergency. We found ourselves worrying about the future. We need stability for business to function, so if you want us on your side with our capital, there are a few requests on our end. Walter lit his cigar and took a few drags before continuing. The consensus is that we see eye to eye in the economic direction you've taken by promoting a market economy. Okay, good to know, but not sure how this concerns me. I'm glad that the group is supportive. I'm interested in collaborating further in our shared interests. Yeah, there we go. That's how you put it. Yes, I'm interested to collaborate further in our shared interests. Go on. Then we have the right attitude. He looked me in the eye. We had a deal about the first mega infrastructure project. You held on to that promise and awarded the contract to Underhall Construction. This went well in our book. We're aware of the upcoming tax meeting, and it would be a step in the right direction if private corporations would get a tax cut. To boost the economy with job creation, of course, and the positive side effect would be our support to the administration throughout the entire term. I mean, this makes sense, right? The less money that corporations are paying in taxes, the more money they have to give to their workers and stuff like that. Again, rain down economics, right? Give large private corporations a tax reduction, promise a tax cut. I'll make tax decisions objectively. Can't promise you anything. Lotharberg will not influence me. How do I get something out of this? Or do we just kind of like go with it and expect we'll get the favor returned? I suppose I could promise that... At the end of the day, promising the tax cut would probably help... I don't know, actually. I don't know. Because a tax cut's going to hurt our economy, unless we increase taxes on, you know, the less fortunate. This is a tough one. And he's not really offering me anything. He's saying, we'll support you if you do this next thing for us. And I was like, well, hang on a second. For Underhall Construction to win that contract, you supported me and gave me money. Now you're just supporting me. Next time you're just going to expect it for free. I think, yeah, exactly. I think we go with 2. Say, I'll make tax decisions objectively, can't promise you anything, and then he might be like, well, hang on now, what if I sweeten the deal? I think that's the place to be. I'll make tax decisions objectively, can't promise you anything. Favors are a weird currency. It depends on loyalty. Do we trust him to remember this in the future? That is very well put. I really like that. Favors are a weird currency. Depends on loyalty. Absolutely. Yeah, calling favors currency is... Yeah, I like that a lot. But no, absolutely. Can we trust him to pay back a favor, right? Oh, let's not be hasty. The recession will end if Lotharberg is on your side, President. Why can't we all just be friends? Maybe we can. I'll see what I can do, right? No promises. I'll see what I can do. The question is, what can you do, Walter? Excellent. Glad to hear this. The only thing the group wants is a private corporation tax cut, and we will fully support your administration. Oh, come on, really? You're going to do this to me? I don't like that. Seldom is there an interaction in this game where I go, I really wish I had an extra option. And this is one of those times. I feel like I've been put into a corner here where I have to make this decision now. I want to lead Walter on, you know? I want to lead him on. But I can't. Sheldon, how's it going? Having a good Friday, I hope. Glad you can make it. My feelings exactly at ease. Kai, you're thinking one? Yeah. We can make the promise only to break it. Which I don't know how that'll go for us. I think we have to go with the promise here. I was thinking of doing it anyway, you know, kind of. Exactly, Conrado. Yeah, that's my only issue with the game at times. It doesn't happen very often, but at times it makes you feel like you can go down this path, and then it very quickly shuts it down. I wouldn't mind if it boils down to this decision, but you know, let me at least feel like I've bamboozled Walter. Make me at least feel like I've led him on for, you know, a couple of conversations and then bring this around, right? But no, I will pass a private corporation tax cut. Just because we promise it doesn't mean we actually have to do it, though. I'm very satisfied to hear this. To us and the prosperous future of Sordland. He smiled. It's assuring to know that we are allies. Ooh, strong word, or glad we could come to an agreement. I think calling an agreement is the right call here. We don't want him thinking we're allies, right? There's an expectation with allies. We make individual agreements. So he can come to me again rather than expect this kind of treatment from me. You know what I mean? Exactly. Sometimes promises can't be fulfilled. Absolutely. Exactly. Glad we could come to an agreement, Mr. Walter. Mr. Tusk, rather. See you, President. Walter left, and Serge came to pick me up. I entered the car, and we drove to our residence in Lackhaven. Serge took the seaside route. All right, good stuff. Good stuff so far. What do we have over here? Announce the emergency decree. Promise Tusk that I'll give tax breaks to large corporations. I should probably... I know it's there, but... wait, what? Where is this from? Just annoyed at Lilius for wanting, like, education for all or something, probably. Promised corpo tax cut for Walter. Just so I have my note there for later as well, for a quick reference, because I might forget that it's in the journal, right? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Agenland first. He's not a pawn. Oh, he's not but a pawn, not an ally. Exactly, Ease. Exactly, he's a pawn. He's not our equal. He's not our equal. All right. Riots stop in Laren. See? All you need every once in a while is an overstepping of power. Police force members in civilian clothing have now been dispatched to areas of contention in Laren. Many arrests were made swiftly and accurately due to the new laws, allowing detention without trial by the police. The protests in Laren are now curbed. car bomb attack in Arvery. A car parked in Agno-Sordish-dominated neighborhood in the outskirts of Arvery has exploded. Arvery police reported that there were no casualties or injuries. The initial investigation found that the car was rigged with a timed bomb. No perpetrators have been found connected to the incident so far. Further investigations are ongoing, and details this is the biggest typo I've seen, have not been shared with the public. It's almost like the devs weren't expecting people to go down the emergency powers route. I haven't seen a typo or an error like that, I don't think, in this game otherwise. Lenkirk, additional forces arrive in Lenkirk. With the order to increase police authority, such as more manpower, supplies, ammunition, and protective riot equipment. Hold on. With the order to increase police authority, such as more manpower. Oh, I see. This is not a list. With the order to increase police authority, such as more manpower, supplies, ammunition, and protective riot gear were requested by Lenkirk. These commas are... Wow, what? I'm not the only one who's thrown off by this, right? Anyway, point being, Lenkirk is requesting a lot of stuff. Approximately 5,000 policemen departed from Arvery in buses to help reinforce the police forces in Lenkirk. Yeah, there's like a missing sentence, like, thought here, I think. Yeah, it's like, no one's ever gonna enact emergency powers and be a terribly authoritarian despot. School poisoning connected to Brutish woman. Ah, we knew it! Knew it! See, this is why we must have them out of the country. Poisoning children. Vilma Asser, who was working at the school kitchen, was apprehended with connections to last week's school cafeteria poisoning in Ribble. The act was found to be politically motivated, as the perpetrators are connected to the banned Brutish Freedom Party. Asser is suspected to have been an active member of the Brutish Freedom Front since the start of this year. She has been sentenced to 60 years in prison. 60 is not nearly enough. She tried to murder children. Come on now. Over at Sarna, terrorists arrested. Sarna police forces are reporting that the broader usage of wiretapping has increased their productivity. With the cutting-edge technology, they've been able to identify the ringleaders of the recent attacks and quickly arrest them. Okay, these guys are moving a little too fast. We need the emergency to last a decent bit of time here. Julian Burberry, I missed you earlier, I think, or perhaps I didn't, I can't remember now, I apologize, but Trap God as well now. Thank you for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. If you are, you know what to do. Let me know down below. Alright, what are we looking at here? Anrika. Protest suspended by force. Excellent. Suspension of the peaceful protests caused protesters to begin resorting to violence. Our police forces immediately reacted, and the protests are now in control. Usage of tear gas has increased in the area, and extra supplies were requested from nearby cities. I mean, hey, this should help our industries as well, right? Provide jobs in the production of tear gas and riot gear. Oh, God. What does the news have to say? Let's start with the Lackhaven Times this time. Morbell mine disaster, 112 dead. This happened last session as well, an event in one of the cities, one of the towns. Disaster hit Morbell last night when one of the main support shafts in the Morbell coal mine collapsed, trapping many coal miners inside. The collapsing structure has also started an underground fire, turning the sky black with ash and sorrow in Morbell today. As reported by the government, the current death toll sits at 112 dead, with many other miners still trapped inside. The rescue operations are continuing without any sleep. Investigators have told us that this might have happened due to the neglect of Nadam Mining Group. Families of miners and people of Morbell showed up in protest at the site of the disaster. Coincidentally, the workers' rights bill that was being drafted in the assembly for the past few months comes too late. The eyes of Sordland are now turned to President Rain to see his decision on the bill. Well, hang on now. This isn't our fault. This isn't our doing. Nadam Mining Group is a bad company. They just don't invest in a company that doesn't take care of its workers. Why should the government step in with bills and laws? This is on them, not on us. President meets with the business council. From Sordland today. Our sources have reported that yesterday, President Rain had a meeting with the business council behind closed doors in Lackhaven, which later continued with a dinner in a 5-star Esteria restaurant with leading figures from the council. The agenda of the meeting was not disclosed, and the contents of the meeting remain a secret, but it can be expected that President Rain has discussed the future economic plans of his administration, as well as listened to the concerns of the leading industry figures. The outcome of the meeting will hopefully arrive quickly, with positive developments and more transparency compared to today. So this is interesting, actually, because Karanti, again, who owns Sordland today and a bunch of other media stuff, he's also a major businessman. So he must feel slighted for not having been invited, right? He must be like, hang on a second, Walter was there, but I wasn't? What the hell, right? I imagine, I'm guessing, which is why this isn't as supportive as the previous, declaration of emergency powers. It's a bit more muted in its support, I think. The Hall Sword Post. WPB leader arrested. The recently banned Workers' Party of Bludia leader, Fethi Ejal, was arrested today after a meeting with an ex-member of the banned Bludish Freedom Party. It is reported that the meeting was held to discuss plans of attacks against the Sordish state. Are you goddamn kidding me? Despite the ban on the WPB, Ejal continued to organize meetings with his title as spokesperson, escaping the authorities. When the Sordish intelligence agency discovered the hidden meeting in the town of Suzerain, the police forces quickly raided the meeting and arrested the attendees on charges of treason and for supporting the terrorist BFF. Man, things are catching fire here. Meanwhile, bill on the rights of workers being drafted. The Grand National Assembly of Sordland will vote on a bill on Thursday to protect workers' rights in Sordland that supporters are calling the most ambitious pro-labor legislation in decades, and which one USP representative has dismissed as the worst bill in the Assembly. The Workers' Protection Act has strong support from both the PFJP and the NFP, as well as labor leaders. The bill was a result of a bipartisan effort from the leading figures of the PFJP, as well as the Ministry of Health, led by Pascal Beniwal. It was proposed to the Assembly by Representative Albin Clavin from the USP. Okay, this bill has a lot of support. I wonder if we kind of have to pass it. Because, again, to stay in power, we need to make at least some friends, right? And if this has everybody's support, like literally people from every potential group here wants this bill to happen. So I wonder if I don't kind of have to force it, It looks like you'll be pressured on the labor rights front. Yeah. It might be a tough fight with the recent mine collapse especially, yeah. The Workers' Protection Act amends the Labor Act by establishing a minimum wage of 2.5 Sordish rand per hour and adding guidelines on overtime work as well as safety and protection guidelines. It also extends the rights of the workers to all migrants, acknowledging their rights as workers in Sordland. The bill also makes it illegal for corporations to force workers to do unpaid overtime work. Companies who fail to abide by the rules established with the bill will be heavily fined by the government and may be forced to face legal action. Some estimates suggest costs for those firms would increase by 50% if they have to treat workers according to the proposed laws. Despite the bill coming from the governing USP, it faces a huge opposition inside the party. However, with the support of the PFJP and NFP, the bill has a high chance of passing the Assembly. Oh, workers' bill is an anti-business move and costs budget. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody that we've been... See, the thing is, the problem with flip-flopping is everybody you've made friends with so far all of a sudden goes against you, and the people you haven't been working towards making a relationship with, they might not care enough to make up for the damage done. You know what I mean? If I pass it, I'm going to potentially lose the friends I have without making any new friends. Juan dos Santos, the next Crusader Kings live stream will be on Monday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, so the same time as usual, and that's when our series for Crusader Kings will continue. That's on Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to be a wild one. Oh my god, I can't believe what's happening in that campaign right now. It's going to be a good time. Pascal is not important. Yeah, it's not good for you, says Beastorfer. Yeah. Conrado C. Question, do you have presidential veto powers? We do. And can they undo your veto with a special quota? They cannot. How much do we know about the laws in this fictional country? So that's actually part of the constitutional reforms that were being pushed before we shut it all down. They wanted to remove or reduce presidential veto powers, and they wanted to make it so that if the president vetoes something, the assembly can overturn it with a supermajority. However, those are the reforms that have not been made. In the current state, we have absolute veto powers. So if they pass it in the assembly, I have final say. I can say veto or sign. So yeah, we can shut it down no matter how far it gets in the assembly. And I think we will. I think we will. What's going on over here? Nationwide peaceful protests. What peaceful? There are peaceful protests happening across the country due to recent events. If we don't contain the situation, it might escalate to more violent ones. Oh, we're going to be containing the situation. Don't you worry, buddy. All right, what's going on over here at Hallsword? Budget allocation of the government of Sordland. The White Room of the Maroon Palace. Exactly, Conrado, exactly. Those veto powers are all that matter, really. The preparations for the government budget were finished. Most of the cabinet gathered in the White Room for the important occasion. Just want to say as well to Conrado, to your point, is like, yeah, that's kind of the point of being a despot, right? It's just like, oh, you all voted to pass this thing? Yeah, no, it's not happening. I've got all these business buddies who will hopefully take kindly to my decision. All right, sorry. The preparations for the government budget were finished. Most of the cabinet gathered in the White Room for the important occasion. Nearly half a year had passed since my inauguration. The cabinet looked overworked. Welcome everybody. Great to see you. We need our cabinet to like us. Hello, Mr. President. Sadly, Peter Vectern, Gus Manger, and David Whiskey won't be attending this meeting. They are working on the upcoming trade agreement with Welland and Agnolia. May the Lord be with them. Sierra gave a barely disguised eye roll. Did you just roll your eyes at me, young lady? If I did, it's because religion has no place at a government budget meeting. I was merely expressing my wishes for a successful trade deal. Freedom of expression must be protected at all costs, must it not, Miss Morgna? Actually, in this case, I agree with Miss Walda. Sarah flashed her an appreciative smile. According to Sordland's laws regarding the separation of church and state, she broke off as she noticed that Simon, Lucian, and Joseph were looking at the three female ministers in stony silence. Ladies, let's leave the extraneous chit-chat for afternoon tea. Oh man, Lucian, holy crap. Lucian, he cuts. Man, no matter which way you go, he's on your side. Please leave your religion at the Maroon Palace gates. The Lord is always welcome in these halls, or don't comment. Oh man, okay, what? Again, we're a bit of a traditionalist. However, our Constitution has a clear delineation, right, between church and state. We need to keep the budget strong enough not to end up with disaster, like a crash. Yes, indeed. Lucian's the man. Yeah, honestly, I love the writing for Lucian is maybe my favorite character. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's so many good ones, but he's up there. He's up there. Conrad, I was thinking if they are so popular that they can override your veto, you should still veto and then let them spend their political capital to override it, and later tell your friends I did what I could. True. That could have been used for sure. That could have been helpful. If I had more power, I would have blocked it. I like where your mind's at. I wish we could swing it that way, yeah. Number 2, just to shut her up. I think the best is no comment. 3 would be best, but 2 for the lol. I'm trying to figure out how religious are we? And I mean, to be fair, she didn't. All she said was, I don't know. She just said, "May the Lord be with them." I mean, that's not a problematic statement, you know. I don't think, at least, right? To me, that's not crossing the line of separation of church and state. She's just saying, you know, it's like exclaiming, "Oh God," you know. The Lord is always welcome in these halls, Miss Walda. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's a strong traditional response indeed. She is one of us, I guess. Sierra, now is not the time for real. Lucian though. Ladies, let's leave the extraneous chit chat for afternoon tea. I mean, holy crap. In one line, there is so much like disdain packed. So well written. I can't get over this. This is so good. Simon started loudly shuffling some documents around. All eyes turned to the Minister of Economy. It's so bad. It's so bad, man. Oh my god. I mean, even like the lead up to it as well, right? You can see it coming when you have this line over here. Simon, Lucian, and Joseph are looking at the 3 female ministers in stony silence. You're like, you know, the next line is going to have to do with the three female ministers part of this, and then Lucian comes in, baseball bat to the knees, man, just like, wow, okay. Thanks to Simon's expertise, I'm sure we'll achieve a lot of great things today. You know what? If he can hook me up with a villa, yeah, Thanks to Simon's expertise, I'm sure we will achieve lots of great things today. Thank you for the compliment. Today is a big day. We must prioritize our spending wisely in order to achieve the goals we set as a government, while maintaining enough political support, if I may add. Promises were made during the election. There are 3 options regarding the budgeting of the 4 main branches of the government. It's either we increase, maintain, or decrease the funding. Increasing will result in an improvement of the branch, which will unlock new policy options. Maintaining will keep the funding, resulting in no visible change, and decreasing causes a loss of efficiency in that branch. Okay. Can we rely on the private sector to support us? I mean, we have the answer to that question. Moving away from big government is the right choice. There we go. That's where our head's at, given our current character and leanings and stuff, right? Moving away from big government is the right choice. Well, the state provides many services that our citizens pay for with their taxes. I agree, our essential services should remain under our authority. We have to be careful as to what we fund so we have resources remaining for another investment project. We have to keep true to the election promises. Our people voted for us because of the promises we made. Yeah. Sarah's a hardcore socialist, which means she's a pants-wearing atheist, and Nia is, well, a lot of it is subtext. The word choice there. We have to keep true to the election promises. Our people voted for us because of the promises we made. As much as we realistically can. If we fail at improving our economy, the promises don't mean much in the big picture. Before we begin our discussion, there is one more thing that I want to voice my opinion on. Jim Wilson, thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the show. And if you are, again, you know what to do. Let me know down below. I don't think that's the one thing that Simon wanted to voice his opinion on, but it's the one that I wanted to voice my opinion on. As we manage the government budget, we are obviously able to go into debt to invest in different branches. Although debt is a possibility under these circumstances, it would dent our financial system, worsening the economic crisis if we push it too far. A point from me as well to everyone before the discussion. Given the current state of the country, the economic situation is a political priority right now, more so than ever. This budget will also be applicable to our entire term. It is very critical that we plan correctly. Let's begin then. Which branch should we discuss first? Let's talk about law enforcement, shall we? I would like to have an increase in the funding of law enforcement, to increase the size of the police force and raise salaries. We have so many internal threats to tackle, and I'm already stretching my units far too thin with the limited resources allocated to me. Nia cleared her throat. Law enforcement is certainly a high priority. However, I feel tackling internal corruption is of far higher importance than increasing our police presence. Nia, are you paying attention to the news? Do you see what's going on out there right now? We're detaining people without trial. We don't need your investigations going on. Directing the funds to my department would solve the problem at its root. If corruption is still rampant, all the police in the world won't help us. We need a specialized anti-corruption police unit, which we could create if the funds were directed to me. I agree with Miss Morgna. We should not reward a structure that is responsible for an ever-increasing number of human rights violations. Additionally, corruption is the reason of our government inefficiencies. It needs to be tackled. I don't know what you're talking about. The police are the police are there to serve and protect the people of Sordland, Miss Walda, and that is exactly what we are doing. More funding will allow us to take care of our police forces. It is quite a simple choice, given the current status of the country. I agree with Lilius, yeah. If this was another time, I would have said different, but we know the current situation. Let's be real here, right? We literally need the police out there getting work done. Yeah. I agree with Lilius. If this was another time, I would have said something different, but we know the current situation. And that seems placating enough, you know? It's time to hear the opinions on the military. What is there to hear about? I already voiced my opinions. Roomberg is coming, whether we like it or not. If not this year, next year. If not next year, the year after that. Mr. President, you and I have a shared responsibility to protect this nation from its enemies, and I intend to do so until my last breath. I will say this with certainty. If Roomberg doesn't make a move against Sordland in 2 or 3 years, my name is not Josef Lancea. Josef was beginning to lose control of the volume of his voice.
There can be no argument against the increasing the budget for our army when there is an enemy on our doorstep, waiting for us to make one wrong move. Anyone who thinks otherwise is a fool. Mr. Lancea. Right. Pardon my theatrics, sir, but this is a serious matter. The future of our country is up to you, Mr. President. Well, here's an argument. The armed forces does nothing but eat away financial resources destined for our people while stoking fears for an upcoming war. The issue with Roomberg can be solved diplomatically. What kind of a message are we sending to them and the whole world if we suddenly start ramping up our military budget? That we're ready to defend our nation, Miss Walda. Exactly. One of the reasons our government was elected was because we promised that we were going to focus on the military during our campaign. People elect us for a reason. We'll answer their needs. I agree with Yosef. I agree with Ciara. Or there are more important avenues. No, I want to curry favor with Yosef. Yosef laying down the truth. True? Yeah, absolutely. Though, in our previous playthrough, I guess he has to change his name, eh? Because Roomberg didn't come for us. And he said if they don't, then his name is not Yosef Lancea. So I guess he's got to change his name in our previous playthrough. But no, I think we'll... yes, people elected us for a reason, but I think we'll curry favor with Yosef as well. Having the military on your side is a good thing to do if you're going to be a despot. And yeah, Iz, I know. Nia definitely needs to be handled. She's becoming a bit of a problem, isn't she, already? I agree with Yosef. Roomberg is a real threat, and we need to be ready. You're absolutely right, Conrado. Lucian always reminds us of what matters. Still a homie. Okay, now for the topics that don't really matter. What about health? What about education? Sure. Our education system is lacking, not only in funding, but also in modern curricular principles. Our outdated curriculum is wasting our youth. That is the reason why I advocate two things: an increase of the budget to improve access to education in rural areas, and a new education reform. To be honest, Sordland is lacking compared to Arcasia and United Contana when it comes to education levels. The backbone of any country is its people, and we need to protect our future. We need to ensure the new generation is as well educated as their counterparts in more modern countries. Nonsense! Sordland is still here because of this very system that you insult. How can you insult a system that teaches our sons and daughters the principles of national identity and pride? We won't be compared to other countries. Sordland is Sordland. I agree with Lilius. Sordland is Sordland. See, oh man, like a part of me agrees with Ciara, but traditionalist, we like our old-fashioned ways. Sordland is Sordland. D-Fish, thank you very much for subscribing. Again, I hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. If you are, you know what to do. Let me know down below. Seems clear that the enemy is coming, which is good. If there isn't a real threat, then why would the people need as strong a ruler? Oh yeah, absolutely. We have to further that feeling, right? Further that that warmongery vibe. Yeah, Lilius is right. We will pave our own path. We didn't get this far by imitating Arcasia or United Contana. Let's talk about healthcare. Our healthcare system is vast and provides free services to most of our citizens. However, the quality of our health services is far worse in low-income and rural areas. Therefore, I think that we should receive more funding to address this disparity. I agree. I have recently begun an investigation into healthcare in Narble, and the numbers are not good. If we don't increase spending on health services, we at least need to maintain it. Otherwise, we are putting lives at risk. We've just started a new analysis on what would happen if a pandemic struck Sordland. According to the results, if our healthcare facilities remain in their current state, the death toll would be unimaginable. I'm not even talking about the damage to the economy. This is a matter of life and death, Mr. President, and it should be treated as such. See, the thing is, the thing about healthcare is, if people are dead, who am I the ruler of? Right? Conrado. Okay, look. Sordland is Sordland, but Sordland will still be Sordland if our people learn to read. They're learning how to read. They're fine. Insert Mr. Incredible saying Sordland is Sordland meme here. Yeah, I love it. Private hospitals would provide a better service. We need to improve our healthcare. What else are we here for if we can't keep our people alive? I think dead people cost no money. They cost no money, but they don't exactly. There we go. But they also don't generate money. I think healthcare, military, and police maybe get a boosted budget, but education can be maintained as is. Pandemic, schmandemic. Yeah, when do pandemics happen? Pandemic. You ever heard of a pandemic? I've never heard of a pandemic. Oh, I've said it. It's gonna get demonetized, aren't I? God damn it, YouTube! I'm making jokes. Again, it's one that I don't disagree with. They've been less strict about it lately, though. I think we need to improve our healthcare. What else are we here for if we can't keep our people alive? Yeah, I'm worried about the -3 budget. Maybe we keep it maintained and we encourage private investment. Maybe. We need to improve our healthcare. What else are we here for if we can't keep our people alive? Very good talking points from everyone. Well then, the time to make a decision on the budget has come. Consider it with care, Mr. President. Simon placed a stack of papers on my table. So, here's the thing. We cannot go too far into a deficit. We're already at 0. So I think -2, in my last playthrough as well, I'd said this, -2 is where I was comfortable. And then a lot of folks were like, no, you can go further. And we went further and, oh boy. And it was fun. Don't take that to be me being like, how dare you guys do that? No, not at all. But, that certainly has got me back to where I was in my previous playthrough, where I was like, -2 is the most comfortable I am. As a capitalist especially, I feel like I feel like we can have private entities do some of the heavy lifting. So our government budget we can maintain, I think. Decrease education? I don't know about decrease funding, right? Because we need to teach people national pride. Oh, we could. Damn. Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. What do y'all think? Decrease education? You got me thinking, Ease. I think I might go with that. Decrease education, maintain health, and increase police and military. Increasing police and military is a given. We have to do that. Because that was our promise. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's... You want followers, not smart people. Yeah, but with education, we can indoctrinate. That was my only thinking, is like... Because the current education system is basically nationalist propaganda. The police do seem to be doing okay, but I feel like that's going to hurt their survivability. I feel like we had so many recruits who were like underperforming just moments ago. Alright, so healthcare. The healthcare system of the country was at a crossroads. Since the 1940s, the difference in quality between urban and rural hospitals was getting worse, and the average life expectancy dropped. The situation was becoming relatively dire. We will maintain our healthcare budget. The education system in Sordland was overburdened. The lack of schools, teachers, and even equipment in certain areas caused massive gaps in what was otherwise known as one of the most robust systems around a decade ago. Oh dear. We got Conrado suggesting we increase healthcare, decrease education, and then maintain police and increase military. No, I think we have to increase police. Not have to, but I think we promised it, right? Poppy Fire, I've got a few on the horizon. Manor Lords will hopefully be coming sometime soon. Total War Warhammer 3, I suspect, will be sometime in September. I think Humankind is scheduled for August, right, mid-August, a month from tomorrow, in fact. We've got Falling Frontier. I've got my eyes on. There's a lot happening. Poppy Fire, there's a lot happening, and I've got my eyes. I've got my eyes on a lot of pies, I guess, because you have your finger in pies, but these pies are not ready to have your hands in them. Anyway, I got my eyes on a lot of stuff. Education. I can't believe we're decreasing education. No, I'm not going to be playing Planet Coaster. It's an old game, and while fun, the amount of like time and stuff it would take for a game that's old and viewership that wouldn't be that, you know, again, I have to approach this all in a pragmatic way, right? I don't think I could do Planet Coaster, to be perfectly honest. Not at this stage, unless there's like a Planet Coaster 2 or something that comes out, and if it does, then I would have to stop doing Planet Zoo, because I can't do 2 of those kinds of games at the same time. Yeah, I think it would literally kill me. Alright. Yeah, we decrease the education budget. I can like almost hear Ease rubbing his hands together and cackling. I love it. Law and enforcement. Increased crime, lawlessness, and a new wave of immigration has pushed many elements of the law enforcement to their limits. Judges at courts are barely keeping up with the backlog of cases. On the other hand, the police are overburdened. Quentin Bainhard, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the show, buddy. If you are, you know what to do. Let me know down below. Jazzy saying, increase police and military, then decrease education. We then pretty much choose between increasing health or workers' rights or run a -1 budget. I see what you're saying. We could increase health. Well, let's see. So we're definitely increasing law and enforcement. Military. The Armed Forces of Sordland is one of the most respected branches of government. It protects the country from hostile nations and provides training. Some see it as a financial burden, while others praise the advantages of the military. So we're definitely increasing that. So we've got -1, -2, -1, -1. So we sit at -1 right now. Right, because maintain health, decrease education, +1. -1 from law and enforcement, 0. -1 from military, -1. Test student, this game has you playing as the president of a nation in the 50s, in a fictional world. You're like the 4th president of this country, and it's going through a lot of struggles, internal and external, lots of pressures from foreign nations, internal strife, terrorism, protests, riots, all kinds of stuff. And as the president, you need to get it all under control. It's a text-based RPG, and it is absolutely fascinating. Yeah, the final budget's given right there. I just noticed that as I was going on that little tirade there. I don't want to lower healthcare, because dead people don't make us any money. Dead people don't pay taxes. Dead people don't go to work and power the industries and all that. So I think healthcare has to be maintained at the lowest. Decrease education to make money for law enforcement and military. I think we do this. Oh dear, here we go. I can't believe it. Because we're not going to be doing workers' rights. We're not going to be doing workers' rights. And that might be also a good reason why we have to at least maintain health, right? Alright, all done here. God, every time with a warning. The worry is, Conrado C, is if we hit -2 to increase healthcare, one more decision takes us beyond my comfort level. And I want to have room. I want to have that wiggle room. You know what I mean? Oh, good point from B-Surfer as well. We have that tax cut coming. That's going to affect our budget. Lots to consider. Lots of potential ways we can lose our budget before we gain it back, you know. And I'm hoping, again, by decreasing some of the things, private institutions can step in. Because when we have conversations, we're gonna promote privatization of more industries, including healthcare. Oh dear. Your promises will be remembered, and they will have consequences. Are you sure about your decisions, Mr. President? Yes, let's do it. I'd finished allocating the government budget, to the satisfaction of some cabinet members and the dismay of others. They and I knew this would define a significant part of our term. We have a deficit on our hands. We will need to resort to debt to finance future investments. This situation can have adverse effects if we don't strike a balance. Agreed. Well then, let's start with law enforcement. Nia and Lilius were both smiling. Thank you for this decision, Mr. President. I knew you would see reason on this, considering our internal security threats are at an all-time high. I still disagree with Ms. Graf on how the money ought to be spent, but the increased funding is certainly a step in the right direction. Any statements on the matter, sir? I trust you to push the Ministry of Interior and Justice forward, or law enforcement is a key branch that needs a greater budget due to the increased threats and need for security. I think one is the way to go there. We will make a good use of these new resources and fight crime, terrorism, and subversives. Justice will be served in this nation, and having more support is a step in the right direction. Let's hear the Minister of Education. Oh no, let's not. You got to go home, Carl. Thanks for dropping by, buddy. Have yourself a wonderful weekend and the rest of your Friday as well, of course. And a good night's sleep as well, I believe. Thanks for coming through, and cheers. Ciara was eager to comment. I'm sure she is. A reduction? This is the opposite of what we need. Such a shame that this money will go where it's less needed. Exactly. This was a big mistake. I'm so sorry, Ciara. Our future depends on our children. Education is the first step in the fight against ignorance. Your expertise and passion should enable you to make necessary changes for improvement. Wow. What a terrible human being. Thank you for your confidence in me, but without extra funding, we'll have to make sacrifices, and our system will see the consequences. The military is next. Ciara clearly wasn't finished, but didn't interject. My man, Lucian. Yosef chimed in. It is an honor to serve with a president that respects the military. Trust me, with these funds, our armed forces will be better than ever before. You have kept your promise to focus on the military, an honorable and fitting decision. Lucian seemed as if he was about to say something, but looked down at his notepad when Yosef eyed him. Ooh, okay, interesting. What's going on over here? With your talent and expertise, you will overcome the issues our military faces. Boost his ego, right? A little bit. With the support you have provided, I will protect this country from any threat. Yosef leaned back in his chair. Let's hear from Mr. Benewal. I can't say that maintaining the funding is negative, but I don't think our services will perform any better. Welfare must remain a priority for our term. There is no other way around it. It is best we continue our funding as it is. You will have to find new resources. Encourage that privatization is what I'm getting at. He was already kind of for it, so I don't think he'll mind too much. I think he'll get what I'm getting at. The Ministry of Health will resort to a privatization effort to create funds to improve services. I love this game. It's just like, yeah, you get a read on people, they make their intentions clear, and you're able to use that. So it's beautiful. Beautiful. Teachers should teach for love. Warning, irony, Conrado. Good to get the warning flag in there. First time watching live, Mansab, glad you can make it today. Found your channel yesterday, binging the India CK3 series. So far, so amazing. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It was a fun series. That was a fun series. And thanks for dropping by. Glad you can make it live. Our Crusader Kings live streams are on Monday, and folks, there's quite a few new sort of faces and new subscribers today as well. If you aren't already in the Discord, please don't hesitate to join the Discord. Link is in the description down below, and you can always use !Discord or !Social to get the link to the Discord and my Twitter as well with the social command. But yeah, join in. Lots of Crusader Kings players, lots of fantastic folks playing all sorts of games, including, yes, Crusader Kings, Suzerain, the Total War series, all kinds of good stuff. And there's Ease bringing up that Discord link. And yes, Ease, yes, we're all playing a role, so fear not. but the warning, the irony warning, certainly adds a certain kick to it. But yeah, I'm glad Pascal is looking at privatization. Good stuff. Simon Hall, that covers all branches. Each minister will approach you with their respective policy requests and expectations over the next year. Thank you for your time and participation in this significant moment. The meeting is concluded. For those who didn't like the decisions, don't take it personally. No, thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time and effort. Or, regardless of what happened, I wouldn't be here without you. Don't forget that we were a team. No, we're not. No, it's not. It's the rain train, baby. Come on. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time and effort. The ministers bid their farewells, some excitedly, others dejectedly. The cabinet slowly dispersed out of the White Room. The budget for our term was concluded. And folks, as the game saves, as the news comes up, and as there are updates to look at, that is not the only thing that has concluded. That brings the conclusion of today's session. We've gone a little bit over time over here, but I wanted to have that budget conversation today. And next time, it seems, we'll be diving into the next turn, and I'm sure a whole lot of trouble from the decisions that we've made. But folks, that is it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do on your way out. Hit that like button. Do not hesitate to do so. And if you've been watching it as a VOD, don't hesitate to leave a like and a comment as well. I know so many people are watching as the VODs, and I always keep an eye on the comments to get people's opinions. Folks, today's going to be an interesting day, as I'll be headed over to the new place shortly after the stream. I think I need a cup of tea first. And I'll be heading over to the new place, so I'll be a little AWOL, but I think I'll be working from there today. So I'll be on and off on the Discord today quite a bit, so hopefully I'll catch some of y'all there as I try and get some work done amidst a bunch of construction and very loud noises. It's going to be a good time. And then I'll catch y'all in the Discord. But folks, if I don't catch you in the Discord today, hopefully I'll catch you in the Discord over the weekend, or perhaps live on Monday again at 10 a.m. Eastern with Crusader Kings 3. Next week, Tuesday, we are definitely doing Phantom Brigade again. 2 weeks without it has got me fiending. So we're going to go ahead and dive back into some mech-on-mech action on Tuesday as well. And then on Friday, of course, we're back again with more Suzerain. Thank y'all for coming through today. Hope y'all had a good time. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead of you. I'm, of course, excited for mine, as I already shared, my plans for the weekend. I'm super excited, so I hope you all have wonderful weekends ahead of you as well. Thank y'all for coming through. Of course, no session is done without giving a massive thanks to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And, of course, a big ol' thanks to each and every one of you for watching, again, whether live or catching the VODs. Greatly appreciate the company. Greatly appreciate everything that's been possible because of each and every one of you. Until next time, cheers.